I disagree.
I am dying to see how this thing, how many people have actually been watching it and it's been running.
That'd be a bad look.
It'd be funny.
It would be fun.
And
Pretty typical.
It would be typical of us,
Oh
yeah.
my god.
There
Imagine
we
you
go.
watch
I'm seeing it
ads
pop
for
up.
your own live stream.
Oh yeah, I got an ad too. Oh, beautiful.
All right.
Skip ad. There we
Yeah.
go.
There
All
we
right,
go.
now I'm going to post this little linkaroonie everywhere. We're live. The stream is live.
There we
Hence
go.
the name, live stream. Bingo, bingo.
Hey, Solitaire GM. How you doing?
Hey Jeff, good to hear from you, buddy. Sorry about the slight delay there. Well, welcome guys. Thanks for tuning in to this, our very first live stream, as you can probably tell. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be playing a game with our friend Robby, who runs a company that has developed a game called Enclave. It's a diceless role-playing game. We have played this game with Robby on a number of occasions, and it's a heck of a lot of fun. And I wanted to, before we jump in, we want to get right to the action on this, but I want to give you a little bit of a background on Enclave itself, from my perspective, from the player's perspective, and give you a little bit of context of the character that I'm going to be playing. This is a character that I play in Robby's campaign on a regular basis. His name is Sloan. Campaign's a strong term. His name is Sloan. He is a gunslinger, and I'll explain a little bit about that. And Alexander, you are going to be playing
Ajax the Thane.
Ajax the Thane.
If it's all right, before we dive into the description, just
You
so I
bet.
can be multitasking, can
You
I
do
get
it.
focus words from you guys?
Focus words. And for those of you who are watching, Robby usually has us give him a couple of words or short phrases to give a direction for him to develop the adventure for the evening. And we've been giving this a little bit of thought. And Robby, I am going to go with, I don't know what it was. I think I'm going to go with. Go ahead, Alexander. Give him yours first.
What do you got?
Let's go with undead. I was hedging earlier, but I think that's what I'm gonna finish on.
Undead. Easy. All right. What do we
What,
got, Jim?
what was I doing earlier, Alexander? What was I thinking about?
I remember you had said crypt.
I think
as
crypt.
one of
I want
yours.
crypt. Let's go crypt and undead. I think that's
Ah.
pretty
Easy
straightforward.
peasy. Great. All right. I'll be generating. For the record, even though it's not typically common to get focus words with like 5 minutes of notice, it is something that is very abundantly doable once you play Enclave a little bit. And everyone who hosts missions, we always recommend people go from focus words. It's a great way to make sure your players have actual input into the design of the mission. Not to mention, it is fun, and it allows you to get fresh and new settings out of yourself pretty much every time you play. Pardon me. That's
No,
all.
you are good.
No, absolutely.
So I am playing a character. I think that this is the 5th time that I have played with this particular character. His name is Sloan. He is a gunslinger, and the way that this game works is, for instance, there's a gun. I'm playing a gunslinger. Alexander is playing a Thane. So what we're looking at is gunslinger a la Old West type stereotype. But we've also got Thane, which is essentially an armored warrior. The thing about Enclave is that the premise is there is an organization called the Enclave, and they have a number of different missions that they send people to go out and accomplish. But the people who go out to accomplish these missions come from a variety of different backgrounds. So in this case, we will have a gunslinger with an armed warrior going out to try and accomplish whatever the task is that Robby's coming up with at the moment. Now, each one of these different characters has a certain number of skills. My skills for my gunslinger, I have a skill known as trick shot, which allows me to very accurately bounce shots off of a surface and try and hit things with a ricochet, essentially. I also have an ability called standoff, which means that I get to stand in the middle of the dusty street with a cool look on my face, be really calm, and everything slows down to a stop so that no one can attack me. And then I also have an ability called Shootout, which allows me to teleport to my hand any weapon that I might have about my person. I also have a couple of different items that I carry with me as a gunslinger. So I wear a duster that allows me to hide my face. If I want to be unnoticed, I can do that. I have a bandolier, which has a lot of ammunition in it that will refill if it's near a slain enemy. Then I have a revolver, I have a Sharps rifle. I also have a small item that I was allowed to develop after I had a couple of successful missions. All it is, and none of these things are major magic, which is really cool to me. This thing that I had developed it's a small magical item. All it does is it's a coin that has a Dweemer put on it, so that if I flick it up in the air, it will attract people's attention for just a second or two, or even a fraction of a second. But as a gunslinger, that has on more than one occasion given me an edge in a situation. That's what I enter into this game with. It's minimal, but I really like it. And really the focus of Enclave, the thing that I've come to find out about the game, is that this is all about character action. I'm not really looking to my character sheet to determine what it is I'm going to be able to do. I'm having to think, I've got these 3 or 4 things that I do and that I do well. How can I use them to get through the situation that Robby is going to end up giving me to overcome? So that's where I'm coming from as Sloan the Gunslinger. Alexander, do you want to elaborate on the Thane?
Sure. I mean, the Thane is pretty straightforward. Like he said, it's a sword and armor knight good guy, basically. Mine's named Ajax after the character from Age of Mythology, because that was the first thing that came to mind. I think I was playing the game when I came up with the character. But for gear that Ajax has, he's just got a heavy panoply, suit of heavy armor that protects him from what's going on. He's got a mantle, a pinned cloak providing decent magical protection wherever it covers, and it kind of grants me authority and power in the eyes of others. And then I have a bastard sword, just a big hand-and-a-half sword, but it's good against magical threats, and it's enhanced so that if my stamina drops, it becomes a little bit lighter and easier to use, so I can still use it without issue. Then my abilities, or my last piece of gear that I have is a banner. It's just a big emblazoned flag that I can put down somewhere, and when I use a rallying cry, I have a bunch of armed soldiers from my homeland kind of teleport to where I am, and they can assist us in combat for a little while. And we used that during the last adventure that we had, so it's a pretty good effect. And my abilities that I have, I can do something called To Arms, where I conjure weapons and armor onto my allies' persons from nowhere, and this gear lasts until the end of the mission. I can do something called Shield Wall, where I summon a line of interlocked hovering shields at a chosen point, wherever I want them to be, and oriented however I want them to be oriented, which allies and users can pass through, but they can help to protect things coming the other direction. And then my last ability is called Garethinks. I can draw and hold the attention of all the enemies in earshot while simultaneously making them more cautious or hesitant. Allies can join in on this action to intensify the ability's effects. So if we're thinking of some creative way to use some of our abilities in conjecture with each other, that can kind of make them a little bit more powerful depending on how we want them to work in the situation. And like you said, this game is pretty much just structured around Robby's creativity, around our creativity. Whatever we can come up with to solve some of these problems, that's what we're going to have to rely on. Not a whole bunch of stuff that our character has, but how we want to solve some of these problems.
And I can tell you from experience that we have no idea which direction this adventure is going to go. We've ended up in some pretty crazy situations, but they're always a lot of fun. So I'm really looking forward to it. Before we get started, all you guys, we're not going to be able to be responding to the chats because once Robby gets rolling, this is a roller coaster, and so there's not a lot of downtime on this. But we will sing out to you guys whenever we get the chance. But right now, again, Solitary GM Jeff, good to have you back. Author Trace Richards, it's always good to hear from you. Mark, really nice to hear from you. Janine and Matt. And there's some other people showing up here as well, and I think it's kind of getting out of our control here, and Robby's ready to start, so we're gonna have to go.
No problem. And I'm going to try to keep this one really short for you guys. And at the end, if it's all right, like, I'm happy to take any number of questions from chat. Like and we can go
You bet.
into whatever amount of detail you want to afterwards. Thank you guys so much for having me, by the way. I love your content, have for a while, and it's great to be here.
One last thing that I want to mention is that if you find yourself interested in Enclave, and I have a feeling that you're going to, Robby has a new version of Enclave that is in the pre-launch stage on Kickstarter, and we will have links to that in the description of the video after we get done with this. But we encourage you to go and check that out. The upgraded version, Robby's been filling us in on the upgraded version of Enclave, and it sounds really exciting. So we're really looking forward to the next version of Enclave, so that we can get even deeper into this style of gaming.
If you'd like, I can chuck it into chat too. The link,
Do it.
Like, if
Yep.
it helps.
That would be great.
That'd be great.
That would be great.
Sure, I'll throw it in there for you. Okay, I have a mission statement ready for you guys. And to quickly summarize for those watching, as these two fine fellows mentioned, in Enclave, all player characters are agents of almost an interdimensional mercenary organization at the hub of an infinite world. Each time you play, the Enclave is deploying your characters out on a mission in its service that can be anywhere in the infinite world. And very often, you will be going to a completely new setting every single time you play. In fact, I'd say that's pretty much the norm.
Yeah, I've never been to the same place twice.
Yeah, exactly. Does happen, not common. To this end, the way that the game is structured is we begin with a mission statement where the Enclave gives you a summary of what you're being sent in to do. This is typically also adjoined with Q&A, where you guys get to ask questions out of character, but all information given during mission statement and as during Q&A is known in character. Then from there, we would often do something called assembly, where the characters get to meet and confer in character before we start. For the purposes of time, we're going to skip that today. I'm going to fling you guys in.
Do it.
But you can assume that your characters, I mean, these two characters have met each other before, but we can assume that they have been briefed off screen as to not only the mission statement Q&A, but a refresher of who they can expect to be showing up with. You do the mission, and then at the very end, you teleport to your location. The Enclave deploys you out across the infinite world via teleportation, meaning that there's no travel time. And at the end of the mission, succeed or fail, your character's Enclave badge will ping, and once you tap it, you teleport back to HQ. If your character is indisposed, an ally needs to do it for you. But assuming that assuming you get off mission, the only way that you will not be able to make it is if you die during the mission. If you get back, no matter how miserable a state you are in, no matter how much you have lost, you are healed and restored to full. So there is a hard reset after each and every mission, which means that we can be a lot more risky during the mission. With that said, here is your mission statement. You are being sent to a massive burial hill.
Oh yeah.
This is one of those like layered ones that you see in like old Neolithic sites that have like chalk outlines on the outside and the sort that's been built up over the years as more people have died. But very notably, this great burial hill is occupied by two powerful rival clans who hate each other above all else. These clans are called the Dyaran and the Werend clan. And their part of Manifold, this part of the Infinite World, is actually, by modern standards, wildly primitive. It's Copper Age in terms of its overall tech level. And magic is also not wildly common. But as you might imagine, burial rites are one of the most sacred and important elements of this culture. And you guys are being sent in to desecrate that. In this culture, pottery is currency. And people are often buried with a very substantial number of very beautiful and valuable pieces. And your goal is to get in there and bring out a substantial amount of loot. This would, the approximation you're being given is you need to bring out a man's weight in pottery. However, first of all, as you might imagine, it's not particularly durable. Second of all, the occupants will react very poorly to this. The more you steal, the more the dead will wake. And lastly, if you bring pottery from one of these clans to the other will help. Oh. So you can turn them against each other. That said, the the undead themselves that you'll be facing here are not brain-dead skeletons that you can just bash down in droves. Not only are they intelligent, thinking, feeling beings that will use tactics to their advantage, but more notably, they are possessed of magical ability.
Oh, good.
The Diaran and the Werend, as very powerful clans, are affiliated with forces of nature. The Diaran are also called children of the wildfire, and the Werend are children of the permafrost. And you can expect their magics to be commensurately unpleasant. Last thing of note, the undead cannot leave the hill.
Okay.
It is labyrinthine inside, and the really good loot is not going to be near the entrance. But you, as you might imagine, you need to be working very fast, because if you pillage a good amount, they're going to not only be waking up, they're going to be waking each other up. And there will come a point where there will be such a critical mass of them, it will be wildly difficult to proceed.
Okay.
Questions?
My first question is, how often do burials still occur in this mound?
Quite regularly. However, the way that burials occur, given that the dead are awake here to some degree, is when a dead person is buried, they are brought to the entrance of the mound, left with their grave goods, and put just inside of the entrance so the undead do the burying for them. And the undead bring the grave goods in, put them into a nice little place far away from the entrance so people don't do exactly what you guys are doing, and proceed from there. So it's a very detached process.
Aye. And you say that the undead are pretty intelligent that are in here, right?
Oh,
They're not
human
just...
intelligence, fully
Okay.
human intelligence.
Okay.
And as far as we know, there is one entrance into this, or is there one entrance for both clans? One entrance.
Yep.
Now, are the undead, do we know from what the Enclave has been told, do we know if the undead are also at odds with each other? And is...
Oh, that's an excellent question. The main summary is that they are bound to not interfere with each other under normal circumstances.
Okay.
But by giving the grave goods of one to the other, not only does it give them wealth, but that is part of what binds them. And so by passing that barrier, by crossing that line, by giving the goods of one to another, you enable them to mess with each other.
So...
Now, is there a clear... Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Is there a clear division within
Yep.
the mound of what clan occupies what portion?
Yep,
Or are they all
exactly.
mixed in? Okay.
From that one entrance, everything on the left side is the Diaran, the children of the wildfire. Everything on the right is the Werend, the children of the permafrost.
See, Mark, that's what I'm thinking.
I'm with Mark. I was thinking that was kind of the way I was
Other
going to go.
questions?
But okay, is there an organization within each one of the clans that handles burials specifically? Is there a priestly class that does all of the burial work, or is this kind of a common thing where everybody gets together and takes grandfather so and so up to put them at the entrance to the tomb? Again,
Excellent question. Yes, clans do have a religious officiator, which is part of the reason that you guys are having this mission in the first place, because these two clans are starting to lose their control over the region. A third family has come in, and their officiator is the one who has hired you.
okay.
They have left, like, I don't know if you've seen these. There's these beautiful, like, old-timey scales that are made using, like, stones to, like, approximate
Sure,
weight.
okay.
They literally have, like, a scale ready for you to put stuff on that will judge how much you have gotten. But there is only so much time before the living Diaran and Werend come in and put a stop to this. Hence, you are also on the clock outside of the hill.
Gotcha. Okay, so this third... Sorry, go ahead. Alexander, did you have something?
No, go ahead.
So this third clan, they've hired us to go in and retrieve this. I'm assuming that they want us to retrieve this so that they can sow chaos among the other two clans, possibly get them at each other's throats, and then step into the void or the vacuum that's left and establish their own authority in the area. Is that
Pretty much exactly that.
Is that it? Okay.
Yep. They don't really feel like they can take on both clans, but they only just need to get rid of one.
Okay, so is this third clan then, the one that's hired us, are they allowed to bury people inside of this tomb as well, or do they have their own tomb somewhere else that they end up having to work with?
They are tombless. They were too weak up until now to have a claim to anything, but they've built enough power recently that they are actually making a claim. This is a very rare and restricted right.
Okay, so they are making a claim that they can go and take their dead to this burial tomb and put it in there. So that's
Yep.
their claim, but it has not been accepted necessarily by the two existing clans.
It's part of that, and also there's a religious component as well. These
Right.
burial goods are very important religious items, and as such, removing them is not only a matter of taking currency and giving physical wealth from one family to another, but it also reduces the spiritual stake on the mound.
Okay, so this person that is, and I'm going off of Mark's idea here. Are the people who hired us, are they able to perhaps conduct a burial, attempt to conduct a burial in the tomb to see if they will be successful in the face of opposition by the two opposing clans, or do they have to get their mastery first before they can go in?
Mastery comes first. Excellent question.
All right.
And given that this is being done pretty much in secret, you guys have very finite time before the living DRN and Weren clans come in here and just stomp everyone flat. And so there's only a finite window in which this can be executed.
Okay. One of the I think we're going to have to go in country, as it were, and we're going to have to start taking a closer look at the actual physical construction of the mound, because
Quite.
I want to see if there's actually anything that indicates the way that it was constructed and possibly alternative entrances into it. But we're not going to know any of that until we actually get on site. So,
Indeed. Alexander, any final questions?
I'm good.
Great. In that case, let us begin. Each of you brought to Enclave HQ from your various corners of Manifold. Each of you led through this massive, grand, Gothic building, only decorated in shades of gray. Each of you brought to a small, dark chamber with a single gleaming pad on its floor, and each of you hearing in your ears, "Agents, please take your places atop the telepads." And as you do,
step up.
you feel a tingling starting in your feet, rising up through your legs, that leaves them asleep in its wake. When the tingling passes your stomach, your guts churn violently, and then you no longer feel them. When it passes your chest, your heart flutters, and then you no longer feel it beat. And then when the tingling passes your eyes, your vision explodes into ribbons of color. There is a buzzing in your ears. The world falls away, and there is nothing. But as quickly as the sensation came, it leaves. And you find yourselves on the slopes of a beautiful, layered hill, shaped almost like a wedding cake. You guys are rather near the top at the moment, and there is a thin layer of snow on the ground all around you. The top of the hill is decorated with great standing stones, henge-ish, that almost look like a crown atop the hill's head. And there is a thin footpath leading up to it, where the snow is more beaten down than elsewhere. Out beyond the hill in every other direction, there's beautiful primeval forest with other rolling hills in the distance and the occasional clearing visible. All around, it is the late stages of winter, where there's still snow on the ground, but there's a bit of a warm nip of spring in the air. And in front of you, the entrance to the hill lies open. And immediately next to it, you can see the great hoist where you are to lay your claim. Actions upon arrival. We will begin with Sloan.
The first thing Sloan always does is he usually ends up pulling out his Sharps rifle and scans the entire area to see if there's anyone nearby who might be observing our appearance, so that I can make note of that and just make a reference to it at some point in the future. So observation is the first thing that I do. Scanning 360,
absolutely.
up, down, everything.
Remind me your sensory stat.
My sensory is just 1+.
1+? Excellent. As Sloan is doing so, Ajax, immediate actions.
He's doing the same thing. He's going to draw his sword, but I am, instead of looking far off in the distance, since I'm more oriented towards close combat. I'm going to be focused more on the snow, looking for any prints, anything that indicates somebody was here very recently.
Oh yeah, recent prints for sure. They are obvious amidst the snow. As Sloan is scanning the tree line as well with his sharps up, he sees occasional flutters of movement, birds, small creatures, things of that nature. However, towards the bottom of the hill where the footpath curves away into the trees, he does also see one other thing, namely a faint line of smoke from what looks like a recent campfire. It would be a small one, though.
Okay. Now, when you mentioned we appeared on the hill, or we are at the base of the hill?
Near the top.
Near the top.
Actually.
Okay, one of the things that I want to do when I'm doing my scanning up here, I also want to try and get two observations in. One is there any place in the, is there a dusting of snow over the entire hill, or is it just in patches?
The dusting seems to be over, at least from everything you can see on this side, the entire hill. The hill is also rather even in its construction, meaning that there aren't any weird, like, notable divots or plants growing out of it or anything like that.
Okay, but I still want to look at the snow intently. I want to see if there's any disturbances in the snow that are not the end result of footprints going toward them, if that makes any sense.
Absolutely.
If there's,
are you going to walk a perimeter?
Yes,
at the top of the
but I want to make sure that I don't disturb anything as I make that walk on the top of the perimeter, but I want to scan the entire slope below me for any disturbances in the snow that are not necessarily connected to footprints or any other trails to go toward them. That's the first one I want to do. The other one is I also want to be scanning for any footprints, human or animal, that might be going toward or up the hill and maybe disappearing, or maybe stopping at a certain point, or maybe some of these footprints have gone to the same location over time as this snow has been there. Maybe it's been there for a week or so. Maybe there's been a continuous trail of footprints going to a particular point on the side of the hill. That's what I want to look for as well.
Certainly. To that end, you would, as you're scanning the ground, you're scanning the perimeters, you do not see major disturbances in the patches of the snow. You see some footsteps, but not many of them go up the hill. In fact, you notice kind of a noteworthy absence of animal tracks coming up it. That said, there is a small congregation of like small footprints, especially towards the bottom of the hill on the opposite side of the footpath, where you can see that in that way that you see like beautiful rock formations in winter, a spilling of ice from some sort of interior spring.
Oh. All right, Alexander, go ahead.
Yep, I was about to say. Ajax.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm going to be sticking.
No problem.
I'm going to be sticking with him as he's doing this exploration. But if we, I'll indicate if he doesn't see the spring where the water is flowing. That's where we should head down and take a look at, get a little bit of a closer look.
Will Sloan do likewise?
Yep.
Totally. And trudging down your the path down the hill on this side, leaving footprints in the pristine surface of it, and reaching the base. You know what I mean when you're driving along the highway in winter and there's like rock walls that just have like big bundles of ice coming out of them?
Yes.
Yeah, it's exactly like that, even though of course this hill is not rock, it's earth. And you can see that there's again this big bundle of water, like frozen water spilling out. And given that it's approaching spring, there is a little trickle of it that kind of spills out below, melting some of the snow, making kind of a small vernal pool that it seems like local animals have been drinking at. The ice itself is, as you might imagine, pretty much opaque. Like it didn't freeze evenly enough to be able to be seen through, but it seems quite deep, thick enough that like even if you were able to put your hand through it, you would be able to reach the side of the hill, but it would be up to your shoulder in so doing.
I'm going to turn to Ajax as I'm standing here and say, I was really stupid in not requiring a shovel and a pickaxe in our gear when we came through. And I think that's something that we're going to need because, let's just sit down here on the side of this hill at this little spring and have a confab on what we think we're going to do with our
let's discuss.
Forward. Number one, if there's water coming, I'm assuming that this is an artificially man-made hill. All right, it
certainly looks it.
Yeah, and if that water is coming out of there, there is a chance that it is just some sort of a weird channel from snow melt and whatever from further up the hill that has gone down inside the hill and then found this is the egress out. That could be one of the options. It's just a natural egress out. It also could be a situation where this is an entrance into the interior of the mountain, that if we widen it up a little bit, we might be able to get inside. To do that, however, I think we're going to need some tools, and I should have thought of this. I haven't been at the table for a while, so I have forgotten such things. So I think, let me just finish this, and then I'll
Please, yeah.
be more than happy to hear what you're going to say. So this is one of our options, is we could try to widen this hole. We could go try and find some tools, come back and try and widen this hole to go inside, but we might be wasting our time. The other option that we're going to have is, if there's a campfire nearby, there might be someone there who has some knowledge of what's going on with this thing, that maybe they know of something that Enclave did not tell us, and maybe gathering some information from them might be something to do before we do anything else. What are your thoughts?
I was going to say, I think that we should go check out the campfire and see, if nothing else, if the people are gone, maybe they left behind some tools we might be able to use to do something with.
Right.
They, like you say, they might be able to give us some information.
Good idea.
I think that's step one before we either widen or just head in through the mouth.
And I'm just worried about when we could walk in through the mouth. I'm just afraid we're going to get a real rude meet and greet when we
there's a
walk
chance
inside.
we have to start swinging.
I'm
pretty
kind of
quick.
thinking that might be the situation as well. We'll just have to see.
Yeah.
Will you guys be moving together as you round the base of the hill towards the campfire area?
I think what I would like to do, Ajax, we can, whatever you think, feel free to tell me if you think I'm wrong. I would actually like to stay up here on the hill and track you as you go down there, so that if there is someone who has ill intent toward us as we come off this hill,
Sure.
I can take them by surprise. You can defend yourself up close and personal better than I can. From a distance, I can protect you until you get to a spot where you can bring me down.
Sounds good. Yeah. Then I will sheath my sword in case I come across somebody who I don't need to be accidentally threatening. But I'll put it down, put that back in my sheath, and then start heading down towards the campfire, or the smoke at least.
Yeah, given that the spring was, or whatever it is, was at the base of the hill, you just have to round the hill to get to the other side, while Sloane takes his position back up at the top. As he does so, he would be able to witness Ajax kind of moving in towards the direction of the smoke, which, when pointed out to Ajax, would be obvious, but he might not have noticed if he were just kind of like taking a perfunctory glance. The trees around here are relatively thin but dense together, and the footpath that snakes its way through them is small enough and clearly meant for like rather small people, such that Ajax has to kind of push through branches as he is going, given his size. But he does not only quickly see the source of the campfire, but he quickly goes out of sight of Sloane, given that he's passing through thin, dense trees.
As soon as that occurs, then I have to shoulder the rifle and I have to head down to wherever I last saw him.
Trotting down after him?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And when I get into the trees, that's when I'm going to switch to my pistol as opposed to the rifle.
Yep, totally. And as Ajax would round a corner, he would and see through like a dense scrub of thicket. He would see the fire neatly stifled with snow and only giving off a little faint sputtering of smoke afterwards. He would see very recent footsteps, like there's fresh mud underneath them. They're so recent. Nothing's frozen back over. But additionally, while he doesn't see any sight of anyone anywhere, he does see the direction the footsteps went off in. They have some streak to them, meaning they were probably done at speed. And the only other thing of note is that there is evidence that the person here was here for a little while. Like, there's evidence of food, and also like a big blank section on the ground where perhaps a bed had been.
Somebody had slept there. Okay.
Do I get the feeling it was just one person who was spending time here? I'll take a look at the footprints. Does everyone, they all look pretty similar? Okay.
Seems like one.
Okay. Then I'm going to scan kind of, are we in like a clearing? Are the woods just off to one side?
It's less of a, it is a clearing, but it's a very small clearing that's very heavily covered by thicket.
Okay.
It also seems, just kind of like looking around, that they were trying to be next to the footpath, but be out of sight. You would have had to, going along, there's only one way you could look in towards this camp, and it would have taken some trudging to get to it.
Okay. Then as soon as I emerge from the trees and I'm kind of in this clearing, the first thing I'm going to do is take a very close look at what's surrounding the camp. Make sure there's nothing, at least from my initial glance, looking back out at me and keeping an eye on what's going on.
Absolutely. You hear the sounds of the forest around you. You hear the occasional kind of like of like distant snow melt falling off of trees. But additionally, in the far distance, as you are looking, both you and Sloane, who is coming up behind you at this point, you can hear his footsteps, would hear in the quite far away, but enough that you can hear.
Which direction is that? Is it coming back from Sloane's direction or ahead from where?
Ahead, footpath direction.
Okay.
So
it echoes out over the treetops and across the hills.
Okay. Ajax, this is my thought here. There was some sort of a watchman here who saw us. We have scared somebody in some form. They have gone off, and some signal has been signaled to come and take care of the interlopers. I think we have two options. I think we have one option. We've got to go inside the entrance to this hill.
I think you might be exactly right. I don't want to get caught down here with low visibility. They know this area. We don't.
Exactly.
I don't want everyone hopping out from the brush and attacking.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
I say that we just head straight for the entrance, and we're going to have to, if nothing else, that's going to be a better place to make a stand against whoever's coming, at least until we can find out who's there. That's probably going to be one of our best places to do it. Granted, we don't have any line of retreat, but we're here to go inside this thing one way or the other, so let's just go do it.
Okay. Yeah, you go first. I'll cover the rear in case anything catches up to us.
All right. So, Robby, Sloane is going to make his way back to the entrance, maintaining with the pistol, and I'm also going to be using my duster, so that, and again, I'm assuming that that's going to allow me to stay largely unnoticed or less obvious to anybody who might be looking at the entrance to the tomb. So I'm using the duster, going not slowly but not quickly toward the entrance to maintain the duster's ability to keep me relatively unnoticed.
Certainly. As Sloane would enter into this place, he notices two things immediately. First of all, it's quite warm in here. Outside, it had the nip of late winter. Inside, it's rather warm, and you notice it the moment you pass the threshold. Second of all, he feels a kind of a pressure in the air that almost takes his breath away just by entering. But it's something that he kind of quickly captures. What's a good way of describing it? Imagine kind of like entering into a museum, and you're just kind of the idea of like entering into a famous place,
sure,
a hallowed place,
sure,
that you're like, oh, I'm here,
right?
Even though he's never been this place in his life, it hits him in a similar way.
But there's some sort of a presence there. It's not like a menacing presence. It's just maybe a presence of age. It's a presence of.
It's venerable.
Yeah, there we go.
It's deep, impressive, venerable presence. But additionally, as he enters in, he can see it's relatively roomy, the passageway that he is in, and on either side, he can see on the walls beautiful, elaborate cave painting style depictions. They're actually quite well done, anatomically accurate. Some cases going into like painstaking detail on certain animals or natural features, but have that same cave painting style to them, flavor to them.
Sure.
And ahead, the passage forks.
Okay.
Left and right.
All right. I'm not going any further in. I'm going to turn around, change back to my rifle, and keep an eye on Ajax as he comes to the entrance.
Yeah, Ajax, what do you want to do as you can see up ahead, Sloane has passed into the entrance up ahead. How will you be entering?
As he's passed into the entrance, the main thing I'm going to do once I get up close to that opening is turn around and just scan where we just were, scan where the sound was coming from. Do I see any movement, anything changing that really sticks out?
As you look out over the hills and through the woods, the only thing that you would be able to pick out is the occasional movement of birds. But those, again, flit back and forth through the trees, sometimes emerging in little plumes of 2 and 3, but not like nothing big enough or grand enough to catch your eyes beyond that.
Okay. Then all I'm going to do is, once I've seen that, turn around, draw my sword, and enter into the maw.
Sure. And as the two of you are once again shoulder to shoulder, what will you guys do from here?
Okay, I'm thinking, Ajax, I would like to just, for a minute, maybe 2, I want to see what might have been responding to that horn. outside.
Just wait for a second.
Just
to see if
just for a
anything's coming
minute or
up.
two to see what's coming, because I hate to have something coming up behind us that I don't know what it is.
I think
Totally.
that's fine. Yeah.
While Sloane takes post at the entrance, what will Ajax be doing?
Ajax, first and foremost, is going to be trying to understand how dark is it down these tunnels. Is it pitch black? We can't see anything.
And as he kind of like peers down into the tunnels, dark for sure, no doubt about that. Not as dark as it should be.
Okay. Okay. Do I get the sense that once we venture down in there, we would need a secondary light source of some kind, or are we going to be
Probably
able to
wouldn't
function?
hurt.
Okay. I'm going to look around the entrance because I realize
Yeah.
we don't have any of those either.
Once again,
We
the
see
4
torches. Are there-
decades RPG player did not bring shovels, did not bring picks, did not bring torches. Jeez. God,
We're gonna be
worthless.
fine. So are there lamps nearby? Oil lamps, torches, anything that we see?
None of the above, but I will direct you to your ability to arms.
Hold on. Sorry.
While you're
guys,
taking a
it's
look,
been while.
however, Sloane, as you are looking out across the horizon, something that your eyes would pick out that Ajax's did not is the bird movement.
Okay.
I mentioned he saw it, of course, but you see a pattern to it.
Good. Okay.
The bird movement is more prominent in the distance and is less so up close.
So something is heading our way, disturbing these birds as it progresses.
Albeit slowly. They're not. There's no huge flux
Right.
that erupt into the air.
Sure.
But
Do I get
they
an
are
idea?
definitely responding.
Do I get an idea of how far away these disturbances of those birds are?
At a guess, a mile.
A mile.
maybe a
Oh,
little
okay. Okay. All right. Have we left now? And I should have thought of this as well. Have we left an obvious trail coming up to the entrance to the mound in the snow?
Well, when you teleported in, no. But given that you
Now that
went
we've been
down and
wandering
around
around,
and back up, yes, you have
Everybody
one.
knows we're right inside. Okay, that's fine. Wow. Sorry, I'm just disgusted with myself here.
No.
Jim disgusted with himself is one of my favorite flavors.
Oh man. So what we need to do then, if they're still a mile away, we can look at this in one of two ways. We can look at this as we have an hour's move or a mile's movement on their side to figure out who they are and make our own plans, or this gives us a mile's worth of time to go further inside, a head start inside. And I've got a feeling that if what the Enclave told us, they bring the bodies up, they drop them off here, and they don't go inside, we're probably best off just going in and getting a head start on anything that might be happening. We could be being followed by a funeral procession, and if they come up and they bring a dead body, that might trigger the undead inside to come to the entrance, and we don't want to be standing here when such a thing
Right.
happens.
Another thing to remember is that since your goal is to bring pottery out and leave it here,
Yeah.
We've got a half hour.
Yeah.
No, wait. Yeah.
That's even a better
That
point.
time is shortened significantly.
So I say that let's just get going. Instead of trying to figure
Okay.
out what's coming up, we need to We need to go with what we know and act accordingly.
and given that you guys are back and forth like this, I hate to kind of spoil it, but to throw one thing in, can you put that last one in Sloane's own words?
Which one? Sorry.
That last note you just made. We got to get going.
Oh, yeah, I
'Cause you
could.
guys have been mostly speaking more colloquially, but I know you have a voice for Sloane, and I'd love to see more of it.
Well, I reckon it's time we need to get on inside here because we're wasting time and things are going to turn real ugly if we get caught between the rock outside and the hard place in here. Let's get moving
That's what I'm
down.
talking about.
Let's get moving. Sorry, I'd
and
forgotten. I'd
Ajax.
forgotten I did a Sloan voice.
Pardon, there's a chorus of screaming children downstairs.
That's right.
Ajax, actions you would like to take, both in response to what Sloane is saying here and also of your own.
So before Ajax starts talking, I'm looking at the 2 arms stain ability. It just says conjure weapons and armor to allies
Right.
persons from nowhere.
And torches are not weapons or armor under normal circumstances, but remember in Enclave we have a mechanic called energy work, by which you can make any ability work slightly differently by doing a slightly different paired action. The more effort you put in, the more you can get out of an ability.
Okay.
So think
Then
about how you might change up the paired action or add to it in order to get something different. If you need a moment to think, I can give you a moment to think, given that Sloan, having said this, does have another decision to make, right or left.
Looks
Yes,
like you
give me
got
a moment to think.
Looks like
Come back to me in a second.
You look lost in thought. Let me go up here and try and figure out which way we're going to go. I'm going to walk down to the left and the right. And again, you said that the Diaran are the children of wildfire.
Yep.
They are to the left, and the children of permafrost are to the right.
Precisely.
I'm going to wait for Ajax to come down and join me here, and then we have to have a quick confab, because I think that this could be relevant to your abilities. Which decision we decide to go with could be relevant to your abilities.
Okay, so Ajax, in recognition of the obstacles that are preventing us from getting, well, even if we do get torches, we don't have a way to light them necessarily.
I would accept lit torches. That's not.
You'd accept lit torches
I would totally
as a way.
accept
Okay, then what Ajax is going to do? Go ahead.
Sorry, this is Jim speaking, tossing out something that I probably shouldn't, because I've played the game a few times. Alexander has only played it once. Those torches could be a weapon.
Oh yeah, you can totally spin a torch as a weapon. That's another way to get to that energy work. But let's hear what Alex got. I want to hear it.
So as is in recognition of the I'm kind of reaching beyond the power of my abilities here. What I'm willing to do, Ajax, he's going to get down onto his knees. He's going to take off his mantle and he's going to hold it in his hands. He's going to say, "Gods above, I recognize that I ask a great deal of you, but in this moment, our hour of need, please accept this, my sacrifice, to grant us the light to see as we pursue our goal of pottery, as we pursue our goal for the Enclave deeper into this mound. Please, gods above, accept this."
That is intense. And as he is saying this, Ajax's mantle catches fire in his arms and begins to burn brilliantly. Ajax himself feels nothing from it. It feels warm, if anything, but it might make Sloan jump.
Sloan steps back and says, What have you done? I'm totally unprepared for this. So, yeah.
Yeah, quite. And as the mantle burns to nothing in his hands, it's smoke billowing out from the entrance to the crypt and flying up to the sky. What is left in his hand is a pair of great brands. Each of them burns fiercely, and more notably, Ajax feels no heat off of either of them.
You got to teach me how to do that one of these times. Thank you.
My friend, once we return,
Yeah.
without a doubt.
All right. Well, we best move on. We're wasting time here. Heading back down to the entrance. Now that we have some torches,
Yep.
let's
Having
think.
recently rewatched your video on torches, we have a decent idea of what sort of light you get out.
Nice, nice.
Thanks for the plug. Appreciate it.
So
Great video.
we have a couple of options here. Let's work real quick off of the names of the two clans. We've got the Children of Wildfire and the Children of Permafrost. One of the things that we seem to have at our disposal is cold fire. Do we want to head to the permafrost side of things?
I worry that if we go down the permafrost route, they may view fire as inherently antagonistic, whether or not there's warmth to it.
But see, that's the thing. That's what's tickling my brain, is that if we head down with a cold fire, that might actually be more welcome in the permafrost side of things than if we went down the wildfire side.
Saying we've brought this new. We recognize the need for fire, for light,
Or
but we want it out of respect.
Out of respect for you,
not.
we didn't want to bring fire down here because it might be harmful to you. Now, at the same time, we're here to steal their stuff. We're not here to make friends with them.
Illusion wouldn't last long.
Exactly. We might grab a femur or something, or one piece of pottery or something, and then the jig would be up. So,
Sure.
I guess maybe one of the things that, if we went down the wildfire side with the torch that is cold, that might trigger that we're there. If we go with the torch that is cold down the permafrost side, it might not make as much a disturbance, and so they might not know that we're coming. Those are my options right now.
I'm thinking we go the wildfire route because I think the initial contact is going to be a pretty
Okay.
important moment.
All right.
So I think we can kind of blend in for a little ways. And either way, if we're interacting with these people too much, we're going to have to start swinging.
Oh,
at some
you
point.
know
I'm
that the
really-
gun's gonna
we
have
know
to.
that's gonna have to happen.
I'm gonna be slinging lead here before this is over. So you know that's
Absolutely.
gonna happen.
Absolutely.
I'm just trying to delay that until we at least have like one piece of pottery in our hands. Okay.
Gently set it on top of the thing.
All right. So then we're going to the Children of Wildfire side. So we're headed left.
I think so.
Who's taking point?
I will take point. I will draw my sword,
Yep.
torch up, head down.
Okay. No, wait.
As non-threateningly as you can.
Hang on,
with the
though.
sword. I'm going to wait and talk to Sloan a little more first. Though.
Because I'm gonna grab. I'm gonna grab him on the shoulder and say, "Hang on here, just a minute."
What?
Well, one of the things that I can do is if I head down there and I maintain my composure, one of the things I can do is I can get to my standoff ability, and that's something that protects us from attacks. So maybe I go from there in front, and you make sure that nobody attacks us from behind there.
I would be glad to, my brother. Wise.
I'm heading up.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
And as you agree upon this, will Sloan immediately start making his way down?
Yeah, as soon as we make the decision, I'll go. Yeah.
Excellent. The first thing you would notice, it is a ramp leading down. There's no stairs here.
Okay.
It is an almost perfectly consistent hallway, clearly hand carven, which is pretty impressive given how the expanse of this. The walls seem firm, but they're not like hard stone. They've clearly done something to the soft earth
Okay.
that they made this out of. But additionally, almost as soon as you start making your way down, not only do you see these beautiful cave paintings on the walls, but you start to see burial sites.
Oh.
These kind of carven pockets in the walls.
Okay.
Where there are corpses resting with their arms crossed across their chests, and around them there are grave goods. Though I will note, the grave goods you see around here are small, almost always hand size. Little medallions, beads, cups, little trinkets, but always made of pottery. The pottery itself is quite beautiful and striated. If you're familiar with the stone jasper,
Yeah.
it has a very jaspery look to it,
Okay.
with a lot of little pretty veins and different colors and kind of a naturalistically mottled appearance. But additionally, not only is this a ramp, it's a spiral.
Okay.
You are starting to make your way down in kind of a gentle circle, though it would be gentle enough that you might not be able to pinpoint due north at any given point in it.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
As you are doing so, however, actions you would like to take as you are starting to make your way down this left-hand spiral.
Is that for me or for Alexander or both?
Both of you. Well, we'll start with Sloan because he's in front.
Okay, Sloan is going to, the coin that I have that will draw people's
Oh, yeah.
attention. That is going to be in one hand. My pistol is in the, well, no, my pistol is in the other. Ajax, can you carry the torch relatively close behind me?
Yeah.
So the only action that I'm going to be taking is to have that coin in my hand in case I need to distract something. And
Sure.
And I'm going to say, I don't think that this is a pottery we want to be dealing with. I think that we need the big stuff that's further down. Gathering up all these little tiny things that might set off some sort of an alarm. They might know we're here. If we're going to attract attention, we better be doing it where we're actually going for the goods, if you will.
I agree. Let us continue deeper.
As you guys are saying this, by the way, Ajax, other actions you would like to be taking as you guys are passing down into this great long spiral.
The primary thing that I'm trying to do is I'm trying to keep an eye on the bodies that we're passing for any sort of reaction, any sort of response, just from having intruders being there. I'm trying to compose myself in the most respectful way possible. I'm not, kicking stuff with my foot as I walk past. I'm not going up and shaking anything or doing anything I'm not supposed to.
Wake up!
Kind of down. Yeah, wake up. What are you doing?
What's got some gold in there?
No, I'm keeping my eyes down. I'm thinking reverent thoughts, praying to my gods, praying to unknown gods as I walk. And then every so often, every 20 yards or so, I'm going to pause for a moment, give a good listen behind, and turn around and take a good look behind to make sure nothing has woken up and is following us.
A question, what is Ajax's spirit stat?
It is just 1+.
Absolutely. Because of that, I think Sloan's is baseline. Is that true?
Yes, it is.
Sloan's baseline spirit? Yeah. Neither of you would see any movement. Not even animals, by the way. Not a mouse stirs. However, as Ajax is moving and looking at these corpses that he is passing, though he sees no movement whatsoever, he does feel something more off of them. The best way I can describe is, have you ever walked by the house of someone you don't know while they're mowing their lawn or like watering their garden and they just stare at you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sensation.
Oh, good.
Why
good.
are you
Well-
in my house?
Sloan is oblivious to this, and
Okay.
he just continues walking.
Oh yeah, this is purely what Ajax is feeling. However, every time he looks behind, nothing. Just the shadows dancing on the walls from the 2 torches he holds.
Okay.
Up ahead, however, Sloan sees something different. He sees that the passage, this perfect even spiral, seems to be blooming out into a larger room of some kind.
Okay. No, no, that's not what I'm thinking at the moment. Can I? Let me see that there. Let me see that torch for a second.
Yes.
I will take the torch, and I'm going to, since it has no heat coming off of it, I'm going to wrap it inside of my duster. Bring my duster around it.
Doesn't catch.
Nothing happens. Do I feel any heat since it's compressed? There's nothing.
Just pleasantly warm.
But at the same time, does it shut down the light for the most part around us?
It does.
I will
I mean, Ajax has one as well. So there's some coming off of his.
well, no, Ajax has the only one. I'm not carrying one.
He summons 2.
Oh, okay. You've got
Hello, balloons.
somebody's using a Mac. Okay, so
Yeah.
okay, so if he's
Sorry, guys.
if you're carrying both of them, that's fine. But what we could do is, if I would like to go up and check out this room cautiously, I can either go up there myself with a torch in my duster, or I could take both of the torches, put them inside my duster, and we could go together. What do you think we should do?
Let's put both of them underneath your duster for now and keep going. Also, Brad, thank you.
Brad, buddy.
Thank you, Brad.
Hey, I saw that you were
Brad,
in.
yeah.
I saw that you were in Italy here recently. We got to talk. So what do you think? I'm sorry. What were you saying, that we should both go down together?
Let's put them both underneath your duster because my cloak is gone. So we'll give them to you, and then you can hide them for the time being.
Let's go. Okay, and then we can sneak down, take a look inside the room before we go barreling down there, and everybody sees the light coming. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fine. I will take both of the torches. I will holster my pistol. I will put my coin in my pocket. I will take both of the torches, try and hold them in one hand, and wrap.
Oh, yeah.
And wrap
You can do
the. Okay. And wrap the.
It's a little awkward, but given that there's no risk of burning, it's not so bad. I should note, though, that when you put it too tight, it does kind of make the torches sputter a little bit, and so
Okay.
you obviously don't want to douse them. So you'll need to give like a little bit
Sure.
of like room inside.
Sure.
A bit
Yeah,
of
and it's.
awkward stance.
Yeah, and I'm not expecting it to be, I'm not expecting it to be light free. I just want to really minimize the light as much as possible so that
Of
it's
course.
not totally
Yeah,
obvious
it's
that
little,
we're coming down.
Little beams shining
Right.
out here. and
Yeah.
there. And as you stride into the chamber beyond, Ajax, will you be still at Sloane's side, or are you waiting at the entrance?
I'm gonna follow a little ways behind, close enough so that I'm not tripping over anything as we're going.
course.
But I'm also wanting to
Yep.
keep a really good look and a good listen on everything happening behind us as we enter.
Certainly. Obviously, Sloane's duster doesn't kill all the light, so there is still like a small radius you can see in here. Something you would notice, by the way, this room is not just a flat, empty place like the hallways have been, with just like things kind of carved into the walls. It has pits kind of lined across it with buried people inside of them, as well as pockets on the walls. And more notably, you see some bigger pottery in here.
Okay.
There's a couple of like double hand-sized pots and one person-sized one that looks quite substantial. Beyond that, however, you also see other small disc things. You see like some of the stuff you've seen before. You see almost like wind chime-looking ones hanging from the ceiling, quite well decorated. And the passageway not only continues beyond the gentle spiral down, but there's also a branching fork off to the right.
All right. Confab here between Sloane and Ajax real quick. There's nothing. I'm
Yes.
taking the torches back out because it doesn't seem like there's
Yep.
anything immediately threatening here.
There's like, speaking of nothing immediately threatening here, there's like 30 people buried in here.
Okay.
It's not threatening at all.
So,
Yeah,
no, there's nothing threatening there.
let's
Yeah.
chat for a second.
Okay, so we have a couple of different ways that I think we could move forward.
Can I hear it in Sloane's voice?
We've got a couple ways that we might be able to move through this thing. Number one, we could take some of this stuff back up the hill and take it over across the way and drop it off in the other side. That's going to start. That's going to create chaos, and these people are going to start going at each other. That's when we come in, grab our things, and try and make our way out of here in the chaos. And I'm getting a feeling that might be the way we need to go about this.
Yes.
The other option is just to keep on going, gather up as much as we can, go up and take our chances. But I think we need to sow some chaos in this entire thing first. Get to the point where we're not the major threat, where there's a lot of different threats going on. That's what I'm hoping for. That's going to give us a little bit of a cover to fight our way out of here. We ain't getting out of here without you swinging that piece of iron and me shooting mine. So we need to come up with a plan right now, I think. Because I got a feeling by the time we got down here, I bet those people are just about outside.
Yeah. How much in-game time has passed?
That's a great question. I don't believe that Ajax has the stats to be able to properly determine that, unless he has a plus to intelligence of some kind. I would take Sensory, though, and so maybe Sloane would have some sense.
Sensory's +1, yeah, plus.
Sensory's +1, yeah. In that case, I will give Sloane the loosest approximation of like 15 minutes.
That's cutting it mighty close. I'm thinking we need to sow chaos.
I would agree. I think our safest bet would be to return up the hill to the first pottery we found. Grab what we can.
Take it across, drop it off, run down. Okay, I'm with you. I'm following what you're saying.
See at the very least, see what ensues, and we can move forward from there. If nothing happens, we can continue down the other route. If we've only
Excellent. I like it. I like what you're saying there. Let's do that. Let's work our way back up. We can go fast now because we know we didn't see nothing coming down. Hopefully we won't be seeing anything new coming back up. So let's go up to the top, grab some of the smaller pieces. I'm hoping it's not requiring bulk to get these people upset with each other. Let's grab just as much as we can carry. We'll go over and throw it in the other side and see what transpires, as they say.
Indeed. Well said, my brother. Let us.
Making your way back up that passageway, is that correct?
Yes.
How close to the fork do you want to start grabbing stuff?
I'm thinking that we start grabbing stuff real close.
Yeah.
Just because I'm afraid that there's going to be some crazy alarm that's going to go off as soon as we start taking stuff out of graves.
Yeah.
So the closer we are, the closer we can be to when we grab the stuff and then sprint down the other fork in that hallway and start throwing things in. I think that's going to be our best bet.
Okay, I'm thinking not throwing. I'm thinking set respectfully down.
Oh, you and your respect for all this is getting. All right, fine. We'll do it respectfully. We'll do it your way. I'm thinking that I don't know how these things are going to respond to either lead or cold steel. What do you think? Because one of us should be carrying things and the other one should be ready to fight. Which one do you think it should be?
I think you should be carrying. I should be ready to fight.
Oh, I shouldn't have brought it up. All right, I'm going to go up and let me grab a few handfuls and let's try this out. See what transpires.
All right. And to that end, is Sloane just gonna scoop and dip, or does
I really think that what Sloane would end up doing is when we got to like almost the very top, the first grave.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to reach in. I don't want to overburden myself because I want to be able to throw these things if I absolutely have to. And I don't want to break them by dropping them on the floor on this side because that could end up causing some other chaos with these undead folks. Oh. I'm thinking 2 small vessels, 1 in each hand, that I can carry easily and throw into the other side if I have to.
All right. Is this going to be... Okay, so that's easily done. Just scooping up a little bit. Of note, Ajax, the very moment Sloane's hand touches one of these things, you would feel just a pang of ire in the pit of your stomach. Not that you feel yourself, but when someone shoots you a look, that look of pure venom, and you're like, oh god.
Oh, this ain't so bad.
Feel that bearing in from around. Sloane doesn't.
There's no big deal. Come on, let's get moving.
my immediate response as soon as he does that, as long as nothing's getting up that I
Yep.
see, I'm going to immediately start praying as much as I can to my gods for the survival of these individuals, to apologies to whatever gods might be out there. Oh, gods who are above us, please forgive us for these
Meanwhile,
sins we have committed.
Sloane-
Just, like, going that route.
Sloane has moved past Ajax and said,
Yeah,
"Come on,
exactly.
what are you doing?" And I'm going to start running down the other hallway
Yeah.
toward the other side to the Ware End, the Ware End clan.
Yep.
Well, as soon as you take off, I'm running after you. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not going to... With the
As-
torches.
Of course, as Ajax's heavy footfalls hit the ground, he would faintly hear behind him what sounds like a just kind of softly echoing.
Faster,
out.
brother.
But as you round the corner, go down the other side, Sloane would feel two things of note. One, the layout is symmetrical, but the exact placement of graves and the exact goods at the graves and the exact painting on the walls, very different. Second of all, notably colder. Not wildly, but enough to feel it.
Okay.
Third of all, obviously there's not like a little nook that says place grave
Place
goods
grave-
here. Yeah, so so where would he like to put his ill-gotten booty?
Well, as soon as I get as soon as I cross the line, as it were, into
Yeah.
what I know is definitely, I'm like 10 or 5 steps past the first grave. I'm going to turn around holding these 2 pieces of pottery and look at my religious friend here. Say,
Yeah.
what do I do?
Place them respectfully in the nooks.
Oh,
Give me one, and I'll take one.
I'll give him one. I'm just going to look at it, and I'm going to set it in one of the graves, the closest
Yeah.
grave, that first grave. I'm going to set it in that close grave, and step
I'm gonna do the same
and
thing on the
step
other side.
back.
Quite. And is Ajax doing this in like a separate grave in like the other wall or something like that? Or
Yeah,
whatever
I'm like
he's
the
doing?
other
Exactly.
wall. Same
Yeah.
thing. Step back. Wait.
2, 3, and the corpse that you've placed it on, the hand shifts and clenches around the pottery.
Uh-oh. Let's take another step
And-
back.
I get closer and hide behind Sloane.
Ajax's massive frame kind of behind.
Yeah.
As the undead rises to its feet, making this kind of like guttural sigh, you would notice 2 things. One, all of them are dressed in kind of burial garb. You know what I mean? And given that this looks like a very old corpse, you'd think the burial garb would be rags at this point. But no, it's beautifully done and maintained beadwork that drapes like a almost like a very small poncho over the shoulders, as well as another one as like a loincloth resting on the hip bone. Second of all, it reaches as it stands and picks up a pick from the place next to it, like an axe with a pointed front rather than a scalloped front, like a hand axe.
I'm going to reach up and grab Ajax by the shoulder, and I'm going to start tugging him, and we are going to start running back to the other side into the area of the Children of Wildfire.
Yeah.
That's what I'm just pulling him. I'm not asking. I'm just pulling him along after me.
And
Ajax, will you be going?
I'm going with, but I'm saying, wait. We need to see.
No, and
We
I'm
need to
pulling
see.
him. I'm not stopping for the wait and see. I said, come on.
Ajax is definitely stronger. Is he resisting?
Yeah, exactly.
He's not resisting that much.
It's like pulling a
Yeah,
tree
He's not
trunk. Yeah.
resisting much.
Needle,
Yeah.
needle. But as he does so, Ajax would see over his shoulder as he's being dragged away. The undead, and then the second one is getting to its feet. Very slowly starts to walk after you guys with its hand axe at its side.
Okay.
Go ahead. I'm
was
thinking.
gonna say,
I'm thinking we need to lead them into this other side. That's going to upset whoever's over there, and hopefully that's just going to snowball from there. But we need to be out of the way of that little avalanche that we're creating.
I agree. Yes. We need to at least get up to the fork and see where they go from there.
No more stopping to pray. Now come on. And I'm going to head further down.
I will always pray.
Just come on, and I'm going to run down the.
Yeah, you're going up back to the fork, correct?
Yep. Well, and when we get to the fork, I'm going to continue on down the other side, the other fork that we took initially, and head down further into the graves.
And as soon as Sloane rounds the bend, he comes face to face with another undead. It's staring at him, and you can tell the difference by the beadwork. But it also has a weapon in its hand. This one is not like the same design as the other. It's more of like a mace type thing. But it's just kind of staring balefully at him with empty sockets.
Does it look as though that might have been from the grave that I took the grave good from?
Yes.
Is that empty? Is that section that little one there
like
empty?
peeking over the shoulder? Yes, it is.
It's more like oh crap. Okay. So I take a couple steps back, see what it does. Is it getting ready to attack me?
As you do so, you hear that kind of guttural from it again, and Sloane would feel himself sweating faintly as the temperature has risen.
Oh, good. Okay, but it stopped.
It's stopped because it seems as though it doesn't, or rather, what's a good way of putting this? It has stopped precisely at the point where its fork leads into the main shared hallway.
Okay, and go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So
it seems like it's stopped.
Yeah, halted
from going further. Okay.
I wonder if we need to get a piece of the pottery from the other side and bring it over and drop it off over here so that it opens the gate, as it were. I think that's what we're going to have to do. We got to start, and we got to start going on instinct. We can't think this too deeply.
You hear the soft clattering footfalls of the two from the Warend side who are making their way up behind you from the other path.
Sloane, step back. We need to see if they are blocked as well.
All right, I'm going to step back so that we're not in the fork. We're back further up toward the entrance to see if they come after us or if they cross over.
And as you do so, the two from the Warend kind of step out. They look towards both of you and just kind of slowly look over towards the Dyaran side. The single one on the Dyaran side takes a step back. The two Warend take steps towards it. You can see the confident swagger in their undead forms.
Okay. Okay, have they crossed over? What would be that imaginary line?
They are about to. And the Dyaran one is taking another step back. Clearly 2 versus 1. It doesn't fancy its odds.
All right. Wait here. I'm going to run past them, if that is possible, the two. Going to run...
which direction?
Going back down into the Warend side.
Yes, completely open. You're not stopped.
Okay, I run down there and I grab as much of the pottery as I can. And
do you want to shove it in your coat?
Yep, I'm putting it in pockets. I am grabbing as much of it as I possibly can, and as soon as I am full, I'm going to run back up, and I'm going to try and make it past all 3 of these individuals, these undead individuals, and get down over onto the Dyaran side, and take some of the pottery, and I'm going to start tossing it into the graves on the Dyaran side.
Let's take it one by one. As Sloane goes rushing down to collect, Ajax, left up in the central hallway by yourself, watching the 3 undead posture against each other. You can see that the Dyaran's take another step back, turns on a heel and goes to run. But the Warend, given that they didn't need to turn, get a jump on it, grab it, drag it to the ground, start beating it to death with their stone weapon. Brutal. It looks like a street fight, right?
Sure.
They curb stomp, they crack its skull open, they do not hesitate to bash this thing to pieces.
Okay.
And after it stops moving, they kind of step up, they take off its burial garb, they loot it of its weapon, and they kind of turn back towards their own hallway, clearly happy with what they have recovered from this. Actions Ajax would like to take after watching this beatdown.
As soon as I see him sprint back down and they're fighting, I'm doing the same thing, but the other direction. So I'm going
running
back,
past them towards the Dyaran
running
side.
past them towards the Dyaran, and I'm gonna grab a sword is in its sheath. I'm carrying a torch, but I'm gonna get down there. I'm gonna grab as much pottery as I can. Same thing. I'm sprinting
from some of the
back
early moves, or like are you going deeper?
From the early.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's more like small handheld ones you have to like bunch up in your arms.
Yep, and I'm hoofing it back up to do the same thing the other direction.
As you do so, and you come like running past them, Sloane is the first to run past. However, Sloane, as you come sprinting past the two victorious Were-End undead, you can see that they like are kind of walking along. They look casual and they're walking and they freeze.
What is this guy doing?
I'm guessing Sloane isn't stopping
Oh
to
no,
say hi.
no! Sloane is
Yeah.
if nothing else, if I have to blast through him, bump into him to knock him over, whatever, I'm just getting past him in any way I can.
Yep. And as he comes rushing around the bend, he immediately hears the of their feet running after him.
Nice.
Full sprint.
Okay.
And as he rounds the bend into the Diaran hallway, he almost crashes into Ajax, who's running past him. Ajax, Sloane comes whipping past you, and behind him are two very angry axe-wielding skeletons. What do you want to do?
Run past. I'm ignoring them. I
indeed.
can't stop. Yeah.
And Sloane, as you go sprinting down, what do you want to do with your armful of loot?
What I'm doing is, as I'm running past an open crypt on the side, one of these little holders of bodies, I'm running past and I'm throwing the pottery into them as I run past.
Yep.
Left side, right side, just tossing them each time.
Yep.
I don't care if they break or not.
And as you're doing so, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you suddenly feel a great catch around your ankles, and you go flying forwards in like a spectacular pratfall. As
Whoa!
one of them, you feel bony fingers around your ankles.
Okay. How much of the pottery did I get rid of?
You got like half your handful.
Okay. I mean, the rest of it's gone.
Yeah,
As soon
it's
as
scattered everywhere.
Okay, and so the first thing that I'm going to do when this happens is I am going to roll myself as I hit the ground. I'm going to just try and pivot around so that my feet are staying largely where they were, but my upper body, I want to turn it around, and then I want to use what's the name of it? Shootout. I want to use Shootout to bring my pistol into my hand, and I'm unloading on whoever it was that grabbed me.
Absolutely. Something you didn't mention earlier when we were going over is Shootout gives you infinite ammo while it lasts.
Right.
And as such, Sloane's own reserves are not tapped as he turns on his hand and just unloads into the Were-End undead behind him. You can see that it takes great chunks out of its skull and carapace. It whacks out like bits of rib, but also, fortunately, gets rid of its hand so it can't like
Nice.
brain you with its axe. But as you are doing so, you have the second one like rushing you like just beyond the first one, and given that these are undead, it takes like 5 shots to take down the first one. By the time you have dealt with that first one and make sure it's not craning you, like caving your skull in, the second one is almost on top of you as well. What do you want to do? You're on the ground. Your legs are still bound by the dead hand that are like wrapped around them.
Okay, now have I eliminated essentially the axe of the one that grabbed my feet?
Yes, you
That's
have.
no longer the issue. Okay, I want to use trick shot. I want to shoot the axe that the other one is holding and use trick shot to ricochet that off and go through the side of the skull of the one that's trying to get me.
Aha, excellent. That's a great idea.
And again, and that's just going to be and then up, and the paired action is more just one of desperation. It's just going to have to be not today, you son of a, and then bam, I'm going to shoot the axe. Yeah.
There's a great ping as it happens, and you can see that there's like a rupture of bone fragments that shoot out the other side of the skull. It falls down pretty much on top of you. However, the axe, rather than being a deliberate crack to the head, just kind of like falls limply across your face. Still unpleasant. It's a stick to the face, right?
Right.
But it's much better than a blade. As the bones kind of tumble down on top of you. Heavy, but not as heavy as a full human would be, not
Sure.
even by a long shot. That said, it is still moving, albeit much more weakly. Immediate follow-ups from Sloane.
So it is moving slowly. The other one, now the one that had my feet, is it inert?
That one's not moving. The one that has fallen upon you is like imagine it almost like someone who just got like a big donk to the head and like. Ugh,
Then all I'm doing is rolling over to the side to try and toss it off of me so that I can get back up.
And this you're able to do with success. It's not particularly heavy, as mentioned. As Sloane is doing so, 2 things. One, he's pouring sweat. The temperature has increased.
I figured. Yeah.
Second thing of note, as he can hear more sounds of rattling and shuffling. The undead are waking, roused by the grave goods you have brought them, and also you can see some are passing along to others that are undisturbed and are gently placing their hands on each other's chests.
We're either in good shape or we're screwed, one or the other.
Now, that said, the waking undead on the Dyaran side are not targeting Sloane, at least not at the moment. Perhaps from his gifts, perhaps bigger fish to fry, perhaps because he just, kicked the shit out of two of their enemies. But that said, follows from Sloane before I jump to Ajax, because Ajax is going to have some stuff to do.
The follow-up from Sloane is that he is going to use his duster to try and become invisible, essentially.
Yeah. He's still kind of on the ground, but give me the.
He's on the ground, but what he's going to do? Remember, you may have remembered from an earlier game that we played how, when Sloane was a kid, he worked for the circus. One of the things that used to happen to him in bad situations, he used to have the older kids roll him up in big tents and things like that, and it was almost a smothering situation. The only way he survived that was as he was lying there. He had to calm his body down. He had to make sure that he maintained a regular heartbeat, that he didn't panic. Hearkening back to those experiences he had as a child, he's bringing that forward, and that's how he's going to end up using the duster to calm himself down, make sure that he has as unobtrusive a target for these things as possible, and hopefully they'll ignore him and go on by. Using, in conjunction, standoff.
Beautifully done. Excellent energy work. What is he doing with his hands?
As far as his hands are concerned, all he's doing is he's bringing them right down here. He's not going, and for his guns, there's no offensive movement. He's just going to try and relax completely.
And he hears the sounds of shuffling bony feet, walking past him in ones, then twos, then fours.
Uh-oh.
As more and more and more of the Dyaran are waking up. Ajax, on your side, scrambling down the Warend side with a handful of Dyaran grave goods. How do you want to be distributing these, assuming that is what you want to do?
That is what I want to do. Same thing. Everything I go past, it's getting a pot, it's getting something tossed
is this
in there.
Is this a toss or is it like a place?
It's a place. I'm making sure as much as I can not to shatter anything, but everybody's getting a little something here.
And as you you get to the end of your your armful, you can hear them scraping, shuffling, getting to their feet.
Okay, I'm not hesitating. I'm turning around and sprinting back up to the intersection.
Yep.
I'm not going to grab anything on the way. I just want to get back up to the intersection.
Yep. And as you get up to the intersection, two things to note. One, the Warend side is cooling down. You can see your breath coming in puffs. But second of all, when you get to that intersection again, down at the Dyaran side, there are a number of them that are already starting to muster at the entrance. You can see 4 of them right there ready for you, with another 2 making their way up behind. You see no sight of Sloane. And as soon as you come into view, you see them bristle. One of them takes a sling and starts to kind of like slowly whirl.
Swords coming out. Have they passed the? I don't know.
No,
the foyer?
They're still waiting. They're still waiting at that threshold, at least for the.
They're
moment.
still there. Okay, then I'm drawing the sword. I'm gonna hold back a second. Is anybody coming up behind me?
Yes, there are, but it's a smaller number of Warend than Dyaran. They have a head start.
Okay, then for right now, the first thing I'm doing, I'm launching into these guys, and I'm gonna start swinging at them.
And as you go in for it, describe to me the first stroke you're making. They're stood in front of you, kind of almost shoulder to shoulder, as like a line of 4.
Then so if there's 4 in front of me, I've got the sword in 2 hands. I'm coming up.
Yep.
The one that's just in front of me to the right, so second one from the right, I'm coming down on his shoulders, like right here. I'm trying to cut through him and the one that's next to him. I'm trying to get everybody.
Absolutely. And the blade slams into the upper rib cage, hacking through the spine, passing through into the next one. Might stat reminder? I believe it's 1+.
Might is, yes, 1+.
Yeah, thank you. And passing through the second, the sword doesn't make its way through two spines, and as such, the third person is taken down like a bowling pin, just kind of by like the weight of the second rather than the blade itself. But after that first stroke, immediate follow-ups. They did make a resistance. They did go for you, but you notice first of all they have no fear. They were not worried about being taken down whatsoever. But
Yeah.
second of all, they don't necessarily have armor. And their axe heads, which it seems are also made of ceramic, don't do well against your armor. Follow-ups you would like to take.
Then after I get through them, I'm assuming the one with the sling swinging is like behind them a little bit.
Yeah.
Then yeah, as soon as I get down, I'm gonna bring that sword right up through him and try and stick him through the skull if I can.
Yep, absolutely. They start to bring their arm around to like actually get the stone at you, but before they do so, you are up towards them. Remind me your vigor stat.
Vigor stat, none.
Vigor stat baseline? Yeah. In that
Baseline.
case, as the sword kind of like slams into the skull's face, the potsherd that they were spinning in their sling goes kind of like whizzing past, skips off of your like plate pauldron with like a great tang, like, and clatters behind you. However, with three brought down, and or rather, three probably destroyed or at least incapacitated, another one on the ground, and a fifth one a little bit off to the side. Immediate follow-ups. Are you making your way down this, or are you going to try to finish them off up here?
I'm gonna try and finish them off up here. I'm turning back
Yep.
to the one that's still standing to my right and bringing it across.
Yep. As you do so, however, this one was ready for that and actually ducks your stroke as they try to rush in and almost like football tackle you around the waist.
Whoa. Okay. Does he take me down?
No, Ajax is huge,
No.
and this is a skeleton. It doesn't have much mass behind it. What does he want to do from here?
He is. If I maintain control of my sword, I'm gonna bring the pommel up and try and hit him on the top of the skull.
Oh yeah. Do if the first pommel stroke doesn't work, are you going to give a couple of more?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep.
Yeah. You
Hammer
crack
down.
him like a coconut. It takes a few strikes, but like eventually you feel it stop trying to scrabble on you. Though even
Okay.
the ones that you've smashed pretty brutally, they still kind of move, but it's slow and groggy, for one of a better term.
Sure.
You do, however, hear the clinking and clacking of more of them coming up the hallway beyond, though the sixth one that you had initially seen did not join the fight. That one seems to have maybe fallen back to a group or something like that.
Okay. So then I'm gonna brush the bones off, make sure that everybody's done in my immediate vicinity, back
Yep.
up and kind of take account of where I am.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're like a little ways into that left side entrance. You're still in full view of the kind of main convergence hall. But
Okay.
behind you, you can see a Warrend war group is starting to form. And they have stepped beyond their threshold. There's
we go.
like
Okay.
8 of them that are starting to build in number, but they're also like looking down their hallway, waiting for more of their own. You can see that they have armed themselves. They have their supplies. They're ready to go.
Okay. Then I'm gonna step back to make sure I'm not blocking their path, and I am going to get ready to use my banner.
Excellent.
Okay. So if I'm
What are you
back
gonna,
out of the way,
What are you going to wait on for the banner? Are you going to use it right away, or are you like trying to time it to something?
I'm trying to time it for after they get past me. I want this
Yep.
band to take off, and then I'm going to use the banner. So if we want to come back to that, that's perfectly fine.
Certainly. I will jump back over to Sloane. Reason being is that as seconds pass and slowly wind into a minute and then 2 minutes, Sloane would, despite being perfectly still, perfectly like unobtrusive, he is not targeted or focused on in any way. In fact, he can see that there are dozens of Dyaran passing him. He also feels the temperature increasing uncomfortably
That's
hot.
what I was
That
worried
said, his duster is protecting him. 'Cause
Cool.
that
Okay,
gives him
cool.
environmental protection.
Okay, that's true. I forgot about that. Yes.
Yeah. And so, to give you an idea, the real temperature outside would be like Death Valley.
Okay.
The temperature inside of the coat is like 90 Fahrenheit.
Okay.
Uncomfortable for a long coat, very survivable. But more notably, after again, a couple minutes have passed, he is now not having undead pass him immediately. They're mostly
So
up
they've
the
they've
hallway
gone
ahead of
up.
them.
They've gone further up.
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly. And there's a little bit of sound a little deeper in, but it's much less than before. And he's seen and heard like comfortably 20 or 30 passing.
Wow. Okay. All right. Then I am going to rise up off the ground and still maintaining a cool demeanor and trying to remain as unobtrusive as possible. I need to get, number one, an idea of where Ajax is.
Oh, yeah.
Did I hear all of the chaos, or was I so focused that I didn't hear the battle that was taking place between Ajax and
Did
everyone else?
hear smashing up the hallway. You did not necessarily hear Ajax's voice. I don't necessarily think that he would
Sure,
probably have grunted or
sure.
anything like that during this, or if so, it wasn't characterized. But he heard smashing up the hallway.
All right, then I am going to. So there's no one, none of the skeletons are around me at the moment.
Not at the immediate moment.
Then I'm going to slowly, maintaining my demeanor. No, I'm going to drop the demeanor because I don't want to wear myself out on this. I'm going to drop the demeanor and I'm going to make my way back up to where I think Ajax most likely is. At the same time, getting out my coin in one hand and my pistol in the other. Although, no, not getting out my pistol in the other. I'm just getting my coin.
Yep. Every single burial cubby you pass by is empty.
Okay.
And you only have to go like 20 seconds of walking before around the sloping corner you can see the tail end of like a war group forming.
Okay.
You can see that they are together. They're in tight, like not perfect formation. It's not rigid, right? It's a more loose skirmish style formation. They have their weapons ready to go, and you can see that even though they're not verbal, they have this camaraderie amongst them.
Okay.
Bony hands on bony shoulders, heads close together, almost like they would be whispering to each other. And the temperature continues to rise. Actions from Sloane as he is coming into view of this.
Do I see Ajax up above?
No. They are further enough down the hallway that the curvature blocks him.
Okay. I am actually going to, in a calm voice, call out, Ajax, this is your friend
You would hear
Sloane.
this.
I do hear this.
Oh yes, and for Ajax, you were waiting for this warband to kind of muster, and their numbers over the course of like a minute again have gone from about 8 to like 15. They're building their forces, and you would see a similar camaraderie to what I just described to Sloane.
Sure.
They pay you almost no heed, by the way, but they
Yeah.
confer with each other. As this is happening, however, you would hear Sloane's voice kind of drifting up. It's not loud. He's not yelling to you, but it's kind of a soft call.
Sloane, is that you?
Yeah, you all right?
I'm fine. How are you?
Oh, it's getting a little warm down here, but I think it's going to be okay. Can you get down here? Or are you going to be causing some problems by trying to get past these things in front of me?
I get the feeling I may have angered those ones in particular. So I'll be down there in a moment, but
Well, no.
it might take a little bit.
Hang on, here's an option that I got. I'm reasonably protected from the heat that's increasing around here. We need a man's weight worth of pottery, right? Okay,
Yes.
Robby, I need clarification on what
Yep.
our end goal was with I got down that we need a man-sized block of
Man's weight
pottery.
in pottery,
essentially.
and it needs to be on the little scale out at the front of the entrance to the cairn. Where you
At
came
the
in.
front. That was the thing that I couldn't remember, so it had to be sitting there. Here's the issue that we're going to run into. I can go down and get some of the bigger pottery. I don't know if I can carry it out. So I'm going to need to get you down here. Now, we can go about this one of two ways. You can either try and slip your way past them, or we can just get some whooping done on these guys and take them all out to give you a pathway so we can go down here where these things are no longer are, gather up as much pottery as we can, put them in my duster, carry them back up and put them on the scale. What do you think we should do?
I'm going to bring more men to try and assist us in that. You remember when I've done this before, called my brothers from my homeland?
Yeah, that's that crazy thing. You got to teach me how to do that sometime. I'd love to be able to do that.
Perhaps when we're
Anyway,
home,
yes,
yes.
okay, yeah, okay, sorry. I'm getting distracted here. I just love it when you do that. It's really something to see. Go ahead. If you want to bring some of your brothers to get past them, we go down here, we gather up as much of the pottery as we can, and then I say we head back out. We're still going to
As
have
Sloane
to.
says this, however, you guys would suddenly hear something. Imagine this, but kind of more hollow sound. It echoes up from between the two of you. Sloane would hear it ahead of him in the direction of Ajax. Ajax would hear it ahead of him from the direction of Sloane. And the warband of the Dyaran would charge. And so Ajax would see rushing up the hallway a concerted mass, almost like a football team blitzing of these warriors who are. You can see that the source of the noise is immediately revealed. Several of them have hand drums that they are like tapping at with their small like bony fingers, but the sound of it echoes out and makes this kind of like intimidating thrumming sound as they come barreling up. They almost double the number of the Werend that have gathered here.
Okay, are they going for me or are they going past me?
The hallway is narrow enough. It's big enough to be cozy, right? This many people coming up, doesn't matter who they're aiming at, they're going to hit you.
Okay, then my plans have shifted significantly. I'm getting ready to just swing at them as they're coming up.
Shifted
And
significantly.
the face sounds like something Ajax might be making as well. Oh my god. A question. Does Ajax have a will stat?
Ajax does not have a will stat.
Because of that, I have another question. Ajax is obviously a brave warrior. There's no doubt about that.
Sure.
But he is also superstitious. And this is a very frightening sight. It is a group of armed, honorable warriors from beyond the mortal coil who are charging him with obvious vindictive intent. How the hell is he not going to run?
I think his determination comes from devotion to his job and from devotion to Sloane. His main priority is going to be Sloane, who he knows is still down there. If he runs, he's betraying his friend who is below, and that's unthinkable.
Okay, give me a paired action for what he is going to like physically do or physically say or something like that to snap himself out of it, because otherwise there's a decent chance he's going to have to bolt. At least for
The only thing this is obviously a terrifying scene. So his initial response is not just to stand there. He's going to have to psych himself up. He's running towards them and just giving the biggest war cry he can.
Yeah.
And just charging in and swinging.
Absolutely. Sloane, as the charge of the Dyaran commences from up ahead, you would hear Ajax's battle cry. What would you do? This is around the bend ahead of you.
Oh, hell. That would be my initial phrase. And Sloane is very dedicated to his partners, whoever he's with.
Yep.
So Sloane is going to have to charge up the hill and try and get this war group from the back.
Now, as you are rounding the corner, Sloane, and starting to come into sight of the scrum, and it is truly a scrum. Wide hallway, not for this many people. It is just packed,
Sure.
like a monster mash of skeletons wailing on each other. But also, in the midst of it, Ajax. Shooting indiscriminately means you could hit Ajax. So I want to hear about how you approach this.
Now here's what I actually want to do.
Tell me.
Well, looking up here, does it look like Ajax would be able to physically handle, say, half of those skeletons?
Let's check. Ajax, as you rush in and make that initial kind of wild stroke, you cleave through many, of course, but there are now so many of them, and they're agile, they're quick, that they leap over each other and, like, tackle you. They clearly know that they can't get through your armor. And so you have, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, I mean, like, grab onto you and trying to wrestling you to the ground, right? And while they're not very heavy, they are strong. They are the strength of an adult human.
My stance, the stance is immediately wide. I'm trying to get my center of gravity low. I'm not letting him take me down. Get one hand off of the sword, the hand with the sword. I'm swinging when I have the opportunity, but other than that, I'm using the pommel to pound them off of me. The other hand is ripping, trying to throw them away as far as I can.
And after a few seconds of this, however, with good progress being made, there's enough of them that they get hold of your hands too, and are starting to try to like drag your arms down to your sides to leave your head exposed as other skeletal thingos try to rip your helmet off.
I'm fighting as much as I can. I'm going to scream out for Sloane. Sloane! Shoot him!
And Sloane, you can make out Ajax only because they're skeletons, right? You can see through them. and you can see his shininess contrasted against their boniness. To that end, he's doing work, but he's getting wildly overwhelmed. What do you want to do?
Okay, so in the few times that I have shot these skeletons, have I noticed
Yeah.
a weak point? Have I noticed that, shoot them in the skull, that's going to take them down quicker than just shooting at them in general? Or is it, so I have noticed something.
The main thing you've noticed thus far, given that you've had one very frantic combat scene, shooting them in the head seems to daze them, at the very least.
Okay.
Though they will keep moving. They just seem to be kind of more sluggish.
Okay. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to run up behind them, and I have my coin in my hand, and I'm going to yell out. In fact, I will actually launch myself into them, not try to get into the midst of them, but bump into them to push them forward. At the same time, at the same time, I'm going to flick my coin up above their heads and shout at them, "Hey, back here," and then immediately start to back off. What happens?
Okay, first of all, I need vitality, vigor, and might.
Oh, well, let's just move on into the other half of this particular endeavor. Exactly.
Yeah. Now that's
and I'm not
given
trying.
that you're-
Okay, hang on, just a second.
No, I understand.
No, I'm not trying to like physically move them. It's only a draw. I'm only trying to draw their attention. That's my only goal.
Of course.
As well as the flicking of
Fully
the
get
coin.
that.
Same thing.
Just a matter of how much that shove is gonna
Sure.
affect them, and obviously you're getting them from the back. There's like a shunt forwards. That ping of your coin as it goes off. Are you catching it?
I'm probably going to launch it a little bit further out to catch as much attention as I can, so I won't be able to catch it.
Yep. And as you are backing away, two things of note. First of all, Ajax, you feel that the scrabbling at your helmet, which is past your mouth at this point, pauses as the ones who, and like the wrenching at your arms also pauses as Sloane does pull a good chunk of their attention. Not all of it. The battle line versus the Werend is continuing to go on, but given that Ajax has rushed forward and is a little ahead of the other skeletons, he is isolated in like a pocket of combat. And this action from Sloane draws eyes away from Ajax. Sloane has like 10 sets of empty sockets looking at him.
Sloane is backing down. My goal here, my ultimate goal here, is to back down the hallway so that I am around the corner, so that when I open up with my pistol, Ajax is not in my background as a potential recipient of my wrath.
Indeed, yes. And as you're backing your ways away, you see them start to menace towards you and then start to pick up speed. Ajax, actions you would like to take as Sloane is getting eyes off of you.
As soon as I start to feel a pause in what they're doing, I'm going to take all of the strength I have left in my, I'm sure, tired body by this point and just twist and wrench as many of them off of their holds on me as I can.
Yep. And this does get you free. Your helmet slides back into place, but of course you're still surrounded. Immediate follow-ups after you get this moment, this window of freedom.
Immediate response is I twist back the other direction and cleave as many of them as I can with my sword.
And something you notice, your sword goes through them like butter this time. You slash them to pieces. And the reason being is your stamina is low. And that sword of yours gets nastier the lower your stamina is.
Yeah.
As you clear yourself like a little pocket amongst them, several of them have been drawn off, rushing after Sloane. Some more of them are in the battle line against the Werend, which they seem to be winning, but not by much. But you still have like a good 4 that are like facing you down from every direction. So from a clock face, it's like you're 12, 3, 6, and 9. What do you want to do?
I'm worried about these 4, and I'm just going to leave the other ones alone. So whatever one is closest in front of where I'm standing, I'm stabbing directly at it, and then twisting to whatever one is next.
As you stab, this one actually like springs backwards, and as you like swing to one's next, you feel that one has actually like taken the opportunity to almost like get on top of you. So as you're spinning around, it dodges your blade, but kind of like takes it like under the chin from your hand. You know what I mean? That said, skeleton, and as such, it's not like wildly dazed by that or anything. And once again, its hands are at your helmet, trying to rip it off. They have clearly decided enough with the bloody armor. What do you want to do from here?
That free hand is reaching up behind me to whatever's on my back. I'm twisting down and trying to throw it onto the ground.
Yep, and as you do so, it's kind of like more over a shoulder rather than like completely on your back,
Sure.
which actually lets you reach it a little bit better. Grabbing, flinging onto the ground, not hard to do because of how lightweight these things are. Once again, you feel another impact from your left side, the opposite side from the shoulder it was draped over, as another one is taking the opportunity. They're like, again, they're working like wolves. They're jumping on you one after another while you're distracted. What do you want to do from here?
The one that's on the ground, I'm going to bring my boot up and try and stomp down on its head as strongly as I can, and then do the same thing on the other side. I'm trying to pull him off my back and get him in front
Yep,
of me.
absolutely. And this time, though, you smash the one on the ground. Effortlessly done. But the one that is on your left side, as you grab at it, you feel the first true sickening like throb of pain that you felt this fight as it got a knife in through your helmet. Pack, right? The blade kind of goes in here. And your resilience is
2.
2. Excellent. And because of that, the lip is cloven open, exposing the teeth, and is pissing blood, but it does not go further than that.
Nice.
The blade is so wildly sharp that even though they were having a miserable time against your armor, it slices through your skin quite effectively.
Sure.
That said, you have whipped this one off of you at this point. Are you going to try to like curb stomp this one as well?
Well, I am. I mean, my initial response is going to be to get the knife away from my face. If it's
Yeah,
still
of
up
course.
anywhere close, I'm getting
Shove
that
it away.
away, and then that one's getting stomped into the dirt, too.
Yep, absolutely. And finally, you have a moment to breathe. No immediate hostiles around you. But before we go further, Sloane, backing rapidly away, down and around the bend, sure enough, their footsteps come rushing after you. They run at speed.
Okay. Really, what I'm going to end up doing here is I'm not going for trick shot. I'm assuming that I'm probably in the yellow as far as my abilities are concerned at this point because I have used quite a few.
Yep, essence is yellow. Very good instincts.
What I'm going to do then, I want to maintain that for just a little bit longer. So I am going to, however, I'm going to have to use shootout, bring the pistol into my hand, and with his 4 skill, I am just going to unleash on the skull targets of all of these things that are coming at me as I back away. Yeah.
Yeah, you have the wild speed on your hands. And as you do so, before they can even come within like 10 paces of you, you have chipped their bones to the point of unusability. Their skulls are in pieces, their arms are blasted off. And what you, like, obviously this is kind of a spray and pray, so not
Right.
every shot is a hit,
Right,
right?
right.
But you can shoot so many it hardly matters. And thanks to shootout giving you infinite ammunition while it lasts, you go through like a solid 18 shots without having to once reload your revolver.
Okay. And I think that I'm going to alter my targets if they're continuing to come toward me and I'm starting to place my shots more than just like, kind of the quick shot fanning the trigger type stereotypical thing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be shooting them in the pelvis, trying to dislocate their femur, one of their femurs, from their pelvis to see if that is going to cause them to collapse. May not kill them, but I want to immobilize them as best I can so that if the only way that they're going to be able to get at me is to crawl toward me using their hands to pull themselves along more than being able to walk or run toward me. That's going to be my goal.
Marvelous. And the last one of this group charging you get to run this experiment on. And it works. Not only is the pelvis a very easy target with a lot of very crackable
Right,
bits,
exactly.
but as soon as you strike at the pelvis and that femur slides out, you can't hop that effectively. It goes down onto its knee and starts to kind of like crawl drag itself toward you, which it can do pretty fast,
Sure.
admittedly. But not fast enough that you can't blast it.
Right, and I'm continuing to back up, and so my new strategy in dealing with these things as far as gunfire is concerned is I focus on one side of the body or the other, whichever is most exposed, taking out something in the femur first, then taking out the knee after that, and if need be, taking out one of the shoulders all on the same side to make it so that they can't crawl after me very quickly.
Excellent.
Either.
Yep, and this not only allows you to keep them much more effectively at bay, but it's a much more systematic approach to getting rid of them.
Yeah, it's more of a bang, 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 bang.
Yeah, exactly. And as he does so, Sloane finally is without immediate hostiles. Not in front of him, not behind him, though he can hear plenty behind him, like deeper down the spiral. Before we go further, however, Ajax, with you also having like a moment of of peace, you do hear Sloane's gunfire occurring down the hallway in front of you. What do you want to do?
I'm going to move just down towards the gunfire. That's my immediate response.
Yep.
We need a moment of respite.
Fortunately, Sloane, there's no question whose footsteps those are.
Clunk, clunk, clunk. Yeah.
And, yeah, exactly. And Ajax would round the corner like moments after Sloane would finish off that last one. Meaning that the two of you can convene with no hostiles for the first time in a while. Although, again, you would both hear them. Sloane, Ajax looks like a mess. He's bleeding wildly off his face, but more than that, he is sweating profusely. And you can see the fatigue like weighing on his shoulders.
Okay, the one thing that I have to do as soon as Ajax comes into view is I have to pull the pistol up and go, and then put it back in my holster. The next thing I'm going to do is run up to Ajax and tell him that he's not going to be able to handle the heat down here. Okay, you're not going to be able to handle the heat down here. You've already lost a lot of your vigor. We got to get you out of here. How about you call your brethren from wherever the heck it is you bring them from, get them in here. Let's get that pottery and let's fight our way back out of here while they're up there at the top of the ramp here battling it out amongst each other. I think we're running out of time.
Okay.
But you can't be down here
agree.
that much longer.
No, I mean, I'm sure I'm huffing, I'm puffing, I'm wounded, I'm in pain. This is a bad place for me to be right now. So
And he's, I will say, Ajax is sweating so much at this point. He's actually having trouble holding things because his hands are so slow.
Okay.
Why don't you go back up as far as you can to not get in the mix of things? See if you can find some pieces of clothing, some kind of a robe or something that we can start putting this pottery in so that we can gather it up and get it out of here. I'm going to do the same thing just a little bit lower down, but I want to keep an eye on what's happening down below so that we have a little bit of lead time before anything else comes up behind us. You need to work up there where it's cooler. Let's go.
Then I'm going to start walking up to kind of a cooler midpoint. I don't want to fight my way through the throng of battle that's going on up top yet.
Oh, yeah.
But as soon as I'm a little bit further up, it's a little bit cooler. Take a moment, take out the banner, and just say, Brethren, I have never needed you more than I do now. Please, come, help us in our quest, help us in our journey to defeat those who we are at battle with.
And soldiers are conjured around you. Give me a rough idea of their armaments.
I'm thinking,
I
how many
imagine
do
kind
I
of
get?
like hoplites. Like that sounds kind of like what you're going for.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
You get like 4 to 5, depending on armament level. So if they're like
Sure.
heavily armored, we're talking like 4.
Yeah, then I'll say 4 because I want to be pretty well off. I'm thinking they've got a breastplate, they've got the guards. I like hoplites as a
exactly.
guide for this. The shin guards, they're pretty well armored. They've got a spear, they've got a big shield, a big helmet that goes on. All of a sudden appear. Thank you, my brethren. Our duty is simple, and it's not maybe what you expected. We must let these creatures battle, these unholy beasts battle. But while they fight, we must collect pottery. So you two, I gesture at 2 of them, protect the other 2 while they collect what is inside this grave site where we find ourselves. Any scrap of cloth you can find, gather as much pottery as you can, and we must head up the tunnel. Does this make sense? Do you understand?
One of them slides his shield off his arm and says, "We can place it in this, sir."
Perfect. Good thinking. Now get to work, men.
He says, "Come." And the 4 of them would troop down. You can see them already starting to wipe their brows. Ajax would realize that even though he's climbed a little ways up up this place towards like the entry where the battle is going, the temperature has barely dropped by a degree. It's almost the exact same temperature, and his breath is starting to feel heavy in his chest because of just how hot it is.
Now, my priority as soon as they're here is protecting my men while they're doing what they're supposed to do. So I'm trying to push them, make our way slowly up, but I'm not going to abandon them and leave them down here on their own, no matter how in pain I am.
And in that case, Sloane, actually, before I do so, Ajax, with you and your soldiers, they collect pottery very quickly from amongst some of those earlier graves, but the earlier graves are very stingy. They don't have a lot. And as such, they quickly fill like a chunk of the shield. One of them says, "Is this the amount that you need, sir?" And just looking at it, you know what, like, this shield, this is, like, I'm sure you're familiar with the shields of your land. There's no way that the amount of pottery on it is a man's weight. They probably
Sure.
need some of the chunkier stuff.
Okay, then I say insert it into the crevice, into one of the slots where the
Yeah.
bodies were. Leave it there. You have to go lower. Follow Sloane down below, and I'll hold them from following you down.
Yes, sir. And they start trooping their way down, and Ajax's breath is getting even heavier. The
I have
temperature
to
is rising.
I've got to start making my way back up towards the battle.
As he is doing so, he also feels something quite awful. I would imagine that he is wearing, if not leathers, he definitely has leather straps. And the leathers are starting to stick to his skin like glue. They're like binding to him, and he feels them chafing just from the combination of sweat and heat. It is getting so oppressively hot in here that he feels like he's not literally yet, emphasis on yet, but he feels like he's boiling in his own skin. Before we go further, Sloane, having made your way down a little further, you're approaching that chamber you guys saw. You know, the one that had like the pits on either side, and then like stuff all along the walls, and some of the bigger pots in here too. What do you want to do?
Do we have any understanding in the briefing that we had back at Enclave? Do we understand the language that these people speak in any way?
That's an excellent question. The answer is a solid no.
Okay.
Though admittedly,
that's fine.
Many of the locals will speak Metro, but the language of the dead is not one that's even well known to the people of the region.
Okay. Then what I'm going to have to be doing is, do I see Ajax's men coming down toward me?
You hear them before you see them.
Okay. Are there in these shroud? I'm looking at the into the burial niches. Was there anything that was put into that, such as a not a burial shroud, but like a burial cushion, something that the body was placed upon that would mimic a bed, or would have mimicked a bed?
Absolutely. In fact, almost all of them have one such thing.
Do they have any kind of a cloth cover on them that I could use, to open up one end of it and use it as a sack or a bag?
That's an excellent question. Given that the cubbies in here are all empty, is Sloane going to go over and test?
Yeah, he is. He's going to have to.
Excellent. They are. They are hide sacks that are clearly stuffed with something.
All right. Then do I turn and look and see Ajax's men coming down?
They'd be trooping in at this point.
Okay. Do I recognize them from our earlier adventure?
Yes, you would recognize them. And I would also imagine... actually, nope, never mind. Not going to say that. But you would for sure recognize them. And one of them would say, "Hearken to me. Are you a man of the living?"
Yeah, I'm a friend of your friend Ajax up there. I'm Sloane.
Right, Sloane.
Yes.
Very good.
Here's what I need you to do. I need you to. I'm going to point to the one that's closest back up the hill. I'm going to say, I need you to go back up and assist your friend Ajax. He needs your help. You other three, I need you to take one of these beddings here, open it up, because we're going to use the sack to gather up this pottery. And I know this whole gathering pottery thing sounds silly, but there's a real reason for it, and we got to be doing it fast. So grab one of those sacks so that we can start filling it up full of pottery. And I'll kind of show them what it is I want them to do with this.
Yes, sir. One of them approaches, takes the thing, and with the butt end of his Doru spear, he would rip it open, and immediately throw out the stuffing. Another one takes another. One of them says, "If pot is what we are looking for, then why not this?" And he gestures towards the big man-sized one that is in a place of prominence.
Well, that's fine. We will go and grab that, and if need be, we will smash it to pieces to fit it inside one of these sacks, or into several of these sacks.
Pottery must be intact.
Oh, was it really?
Yes.
Well then. How big is this thing? Is it actually man-sized or bigger?
It is actually man-sized. You couldn't fit a person in it, but it's about as tall as a person.
Then I'm going to tell two of these individuals, I'm going to say, grab that one right there. Let's see if we can get out of here with that. Come on, we got to be moving, boys.
Right. One of them says, "This is," you said, "the weight of a man, was it?"
Yeah, the weight of a man.
This approaches it. As these two kind of lay it out like you're moving a couch, you know what I mean? And they as they two grab, the third one that you have here has stuffed the remaining sack full. But as he does so, he says, "Sloan, creature approaches."
Okay, I'm going to tell them, you boys, head back up there. You got to meet back up with Ajax, and you got to get him out of here. I'll slow down this creature. And then I'm going to turn to face whatever the creature is that's coming up.
You see one of the Dyaran undead has approached the room from the far side. You can only barely see it at this point, given that you guys don't have torches.
Yeah, I know. It's a little dark down here.
It's quite dark down here. But you can hear it even quite well, even if you can only kind of vaguely see the outline. But then, the light problem is solved, as you can see that it bursts into flame.
Oh boy! So I'm going to turn and tell the friends of Ajax here, better get a move on, boys. And then I'm just going to start slowly backing up the ramp as this thing comes toward me.
And you see more behind it, bursting into flame. And the heat that rushes past Sloane's face, even though he has his duster, it feels like he is in a hot bath.
Okay.
It's that hot. But also, as he is backing up, they are trooping forwards, and then they start to sprint.
Okay.
They leave burning footsteps on the ground in their wake.
How far up the ramp are the guys with the
They're
pottery?
out of sight over your shoulder.
Okay. I am going to have to hope that I have enough power left to do standoff. And I'm going to try and do standoff as I back up. I'm going to try and calm myself down, put away my weapons, but look menacing. I'm going to try and do standoff as I slowly back up the ramp.
And as he does so, the onrushing horde gets closer and closer. You can feel his skin blistering at their heat. But before we go further with that, Ajax. Up closer to the top of the ramp, panting deeply, you hear clunk, 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 clunk of one of your soldiers. Ajax! Ajax! He
Yes.
takes you by the shoulder. He says, "How now?"
Well, we must get to the top. We must get through the throng and the men
You
with
lie,
the pottery.
Ajax. You are
Let's get through the
barely on your
throng.
feet.
We will be fine. We are well. I am better now that you are here to support me.
You up ahead, you hear the sound of fighting, though it's quieter now. He says, "Very well, we will carve a path." He says, "The man Sloan told me to come to your side."
Indeed, Sloan is a good man, a smart man. You did well to believe him.
Right. He says, "Hell's mouth! This place tortures me."
It tortures me as well, my friend. We must escape it, to the cold, to the cool.
And as you round the bend up ahead, you find yourselves facing the remainder of the Dyaran. You can tell by their beadwork. They have won the fight, and now they hold the mouth. Cool waits past them. Oh, before we go further, I'm getting a knock at my door. Hello?
In the meantime, hi viewers, thank you for stopping by the Old Warlock YouTube
Thanks for
channel. to watch us live.
thanks for joining us, guys.
Okay.
Really appreciate you being here.
Very good.
Night night.
Good night.
There is no Zella right now, unfortunately. Mwah.
Have a good
Thank
night.
you so much. Would you mind turning down the making the AC? Hey Sterling, other way. Come on. We might turn up the AC if that's okay. Making it cooler.
So how are you guys doing in the chat over there?
Oh.
Okay. Pardon me.
No, you're good.
Anyway,
No worries.
Ajax is facing down 6 of them.
Okay.
Some of them are injured visibly, but Ajax is himself exhausted.
Okay.
As he and his bannermen at his side face down towards the group of Dyaran, you can see one of them takes up its drum and starts to batter its fingers against it. They start
Okay.
to approach, hefting their weapons. One
To
of
battle,
them, you
my
see,
friend.
for the first time, has a two-hander, like a two-handed axe. The man hefts his shield, closes in front of you, puts spear out front. And then they charge. They rush towards. He gives a war cry and does like a shield bash into a thrust out in front of you. But the canny undead here clearly anticipated it. The first one jukes backwards, and the other one goes to try to parry his spear, takes a rib out, but doesn't like get it in the head. But immediately he is flanked on his other two sides now that he has gone in with his shield. What do you want to do? He is surrounded by 4, and the other 2 are looping around him to get to you.
I'm trying to supplement him as much as I can, but I'm fighting more carefully now. I'm not just charging in. I'm trying to take out quick strikes where I can with the sword to kill them in one blow and move on to the next one. Because I know my sword is becoming more powerful.
Yeah, your sword is becoming wicked and deadly. And even though your strokes with it are slower than they normally would be, giving the undead more time to dodge and juke away, when you do land hits, they sizzle. They cut right through them. They hack like axe heads off of axe hafts. However, as you are contending with these 2, they go back to their familiar tactics. One will dive in, attract your attention, juke backwards. The other one dives in to get your attention back. And as such, you're being pulled backward and forward, not able to land a really decisive blow on either of them because you're too slow to follow up attacks. What do you want to try to do?
What I'm going to try and do is move around the side. I'm not moving backwards. If they're both coming towards me, I'm trying to pivot to line them up so one is in front of the other one, and I'm trying to keep them that way as I'm fighting.
Absolutely, which is tough to do. They're faster than you and fresher as well, and as such, they keep maneuvering to try to get on either side of you, but eventually you have your back against the wall of the hallway. You see, however, over the shoulder of one of your assailants, your bannerman is being overwhelmed. He does not have your supernatural stats, and as such, he is being swarmed. And while his armor is good, it's not nearly as heavy as yours.
Sure. Then, I mean, that fuels my determination. I do not want this individual to die on my behalf, so I'm pushing forward. I'm fighting as hard as I possibly can.
And as you start like hacking your way forwards, the one that was dancing around you jukes out of the way once again, but you can make it to your bannerman, where 2 of his assailants have their backs to you. Where are you striking?
I'm striking to one of the ones on my bannerman, and then my goal is to get my back to his back, so we're both protecting each other.
And as you do so, striking one from him, it cleaves it completely in twain. The other one manages to pull away. You can see that they have hurt him. They got a knife wound, like not to his neck, he had a collar on, but they have a knife under his armpit, which is bleeding quite profusely. He also is bleeding from a couple of other minor wounds, and his helmet was partially off from that familiar maneuver, but he's on his feet at the very least. And back to back, the 2 of you face off against the remaining 5, which close in tight around you. As they do so, however, you see that one of them starts to spark like a striking flint.
He's the first one I'm going for, whichever one is sparking.
And with a great lunge out, you manage to cut him and strike him and dash him into pieces. But then the rest start to spark as well. And they light. They burst into flame. And Ajax immediately feels his skin starting to blister from pure proximity. On top of all the heat he's already feeling, his stamina is in the red, firmly in the red. And his exhaustion is getting such that it's getting hard to move his legs and raise his sword. What does he want to do?
He's going to start... Push towards the cool. Push away from the heat, my brother. Move forward.
Yes, sir. Right. And you move backwards, back to back, with them surrounding you. And then you break the threshold. The most wonderful, rushing sensation of cool floods over you. And as soon as they pass the threshold, their fire douses.
Come,
Rushing
fight!
in.
Strike them down!
And he starts laying in on one side. You're being approached by the one with the great two-handed axe, which lifts it above its head to try to bring it down clean on your helmet.
I immediately rush forward as soon as he goes back. I'm covering the distance, and I'm thrusting forward.
Yeah. As you slam through him, bring him to the ground, you dodge the axe blow, but now you have 2 more on top of you. And as you do, you hear footsteps. Werend reinforcements. And as the Werend rush over, they start to attack the Dyaran undead. You and your bannermen are both on the ground, and they do not target you at all.
Nice. Up, my brother. I try and pull him off to the side, out of the way of the combat.
He's hurt quite badly. He tries to get to his feet, but his arm is so weak from the wound to his armpit that it fails him. And similarly, Ajax is so exhausted he can only barely get to his feet himself. The Werend, you can see, it's a smaller group, enough to take out this group of stragglers, but nothing more. And you can see that they immediately start to loot the ones that they killed before returning back down their passageway.
Yeah.
And as they do so, clunk, 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 Ajax sees his other soldiers coming into view with their great, haul of pottery, including the shield that was left in a nook earlier.
Nice.
Ajax! We have the goods!
Well fought, brothers. Bring them to the scales outside.
Right!
Lay them
They
upon the
pass
scales gently.
Ajax, I fear I will not make it.
You will, my
It is an
friend.
honor to serve with you.
It is an honor to serve with you as well, my brother. Thank you for your bravery.
As he clutches at his armpit, you can see outside, just through the opening, your soldiers are laying the pottery out on the strange scale. Ajax's own vision is so swimming and distorted from his exhaustion, it seems like there are two entrances in front of him. And down below, Sloane, the charging, rushing force of flaming undead stops within a foot of your face. Their heat is so fierce that you can literally feel your skin cracking and peeling, as though a sunburn were happening in real time. What will Sloane do?
As they come rushing up right so close to me, the only thing Sloane is going to say is, "Not today, boys." And then I'm going to actually turn and walk away, maintaining the same demeanor that I had when I was facing them, and head back up the ramp.
Your duster, now with them to your back, your duster gives you its full protection.
That's what I was hoping.
The heat is immediately toned down to still fierce. And as Sloane is trooping up the spiral, well out of sight of Ajax and his men, both he and Ajax would feel their Enclave badges ping as the last of the pottery is loaded onto the scale. Final actions from Ajax, with his wounded man at his side, both exhausted in the foyer.
I'm gonna call him up. Men, come here. Come to me, my brothers.
Yes, did we do well by you, Ajax? We've done what you have ordered us.
You did. I'm more than proud of you. You fought bravely. You did exactly what you needed to do. Take your brother. Return him to his home and care for him. Make sure he is safe upon his arrival.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I take extra care. Thank you, my brother, for fighting alongside me as always.
And Ajax sees the life fade from his eyes.
I'll see you in Valhalla, my friend. And I close his eyes and hand him up to the other men.
Will Ajax tap his badge at this point?
After I've released them and made sure they can go back.
Yep.
Yes. I'll say,
And
Sloane!
Yep.
We're done! And tap my badge.
And Sloane, after trooping slowly, steadily with your back to the burning skeletons behind you, you walk for only about 10 paces before you feel your badge ping, hear Ajax's distant rumble of a voice, and then hear him bark your name. Sloane, we're done. Final actions from Sloane.
Sloane's final action is to pull out his pistol, as he always does, and he spins it on his hand, looks at it, spins it again, drops it back in the holster, shakes himself down so that his duster falls into place so that he knows exactly where it is, and then he taps himself out.
And on that note, we will end the mission.
Awesome.
Cool!
Thank you.
All right.
That was a lot of fun.
That was a good time.
Yeah, we were sweating with that.
I didn't know if we were going to make it there.
Yeah, I didn't know either. There was a bunch of ways that could have gone. First of all, do you guys have any? And also, chat. Thank you guys so much. It's been a pleasure showing. Well, if it's okay with Jim and Alexander, we can do Q&A afterwards.
Oh yeah,
if you
we
guys
got
are up.
we're fine.
Absolutely.
We're good. It's
Yeah.
it's
So, yeah, if you
it's
guys,
like 20 after 7 here. We got all kinds of time.
Awesome, nice. So yeah, if in chat, if you guys have questions about the game or anything else, please do feel free to put them down. But first and foremost, do you guys have questions for me about calls that I made or the plot of the mission?
No, not at all.
Awesome.
I think that the only thing that I would say, and this has no reflection on you whatsoever, it has been so long since we have played something like this. Honest to God, I am disappointed in myself. It was like I got, as soon as we showed up, I'm thinking, for God's sake, Jim, this is like exploring this is RPG 101. What are you doing? Oh, I'm just going to show up with, a sandwich. No, you got to think this stuff out. Where are you going? So I'm disappointed in what I did, but not at all in how the mission went. I thought it was a heck of a lot of fun. Yeah, it was a good time.
You guys, you are too hard on yourself, as per usual. You guys did beautifully. I designed this mission such that you could go in with a sandwich and a prayer.
Which is kind of what we did. We had the prayer on one side and the sandwich on my side.
There were other ways to go about it. If you guys had broken in through that spring at the back, that would have gotten you some very juicy pottery from the very beginning.
Sure.
But have accelerated the mission. Something I guess I can add, by the way, is that you guys were very correct to anticipate that you had problems coming in from the woods, and that there was a lookout. Yep, bingo. That was how I put a clock on you from the outside.
That's what I figured.
That was kind of
it's like,
a sweet time.
There's a horn out there, huh? Okay, we got to get moving. Time is limited.
And I mean, normally I would take the opportunity to go through the focus words and explain how I used them. I think this one was pretty frickin' straightforward.
Yeah.
The one exception, well, there's two exceptions actually. I knew I wanted to do a grave robbing mission based on this, but I wanted to make sure you were careful, and so I made it pottery.
Yeah.
Because that way you couldn't just chuck it around.
Sure.
And second of all, oh yeah,
I did chuck around.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. And the other one was, given that we had a Thane on the mission, I wanted the potential for allies among the undead because I thought that was kind of funky. And the Thane is a very teamwork-oriented class that likes playing with copacetic NPCs, and so you could get them on your side. And as it happened, you guys each had one faction hate you and the other faction tolerate you.
That's what that's what I figured. I don't think it was really by design. It was just I recognized it at one point. I was like, we lucked out on that. Yeah.
I was half expecting while they were fighting, Ajax to try to sneak into the Warren side and grab a bunch, but because he was kind of chill with them.
I honestly, that was gonna be the only other route I would have taken if I hadn't just launched in and started fighting. I was like, okay, we could wait to let them fight and then go down with a bag. And
yeah, exactly. There's a bunch.
And that was kind of the goal that I initially had, and it kind of worked, and then it didn't kind of work, but it all worked out in the end. So.
Yeah.
Of note, given that that Enclave has kind of a notoriety for janky maps, this was my map for the mission.
Oh yeah, we've seen those before.
Double spirals going out, and for those who are interested, this was all of the notes I took on the mission, and I took about half of them while we were playing. It's often good as an Enclave designer to go in with as little prep as you can.
Yep.
Minimize it because it gives you more freedom while you're going, and it also means that if you have to drastically change your design, you're not sunk cost fallacying yourself with I put in all this prep time. No, screw it. Do something else. Yes, I think that's all the stuff that I particularly wanted to discuss on this one. In terms of my side, onto your side, I want to talk about how you guys did because it was awesome. First of all, Alexander. Beautifully done playing low stamina. That is not easy to do, and you leaned into it well. The Thane is well equipped to do such things, and also I wanted a mission where the side you took was quite meaningful because Ajax would actually have had slightly a better time dealing with the cold.
That's what. Yeah, that hit me.
Yeah, I realized that partway through.
Yeah, exactly. But you leaned into it beautifully. The fighting was quite cool. You did a great job understanding, okay, I just got to smash. I just got to frickin' smash these things. But also, there were enough of them that it was kind of scary to get dogpiled because then they could try to peel your helmet off or go for you with a knife. I thought your strategic combat was great. Your timing of the banner was awesome. The scenes with the bannermen were very fun. The torch thing at the beginning was sick because honestly, sacrificing the mantle for the torches was such a huge detriment because mantle very strong, torch normally very weak. It let me give you a little extra something.
That was cool.
Themed around the mission because you're wow, I was wow, that's such a big sacrifice. Well, you want torches. What if I give him a torch with upside that's thematically reflective of the mission?
Yeah, that was cool. That was cool.
torch that burned cold. It was just an extremely cool setup. There was a lot of cool ways you could do with it, but even just having like torches that were convenient was a very useful thing to have.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
I loved that setup. Yeah, I'd say literally the only way I could like have notably seen you getting like a better edge than you had is making better use of your shield wall and Garething's abilities.
That the shield wall was the one that I kept forgetting about and thinking about, like, because I wouldn't think about using it until after the moment. It's like, well,
I was at one point. I was this close. Sloan was this
it's
close to yell when the baddies started coming up the hallway after me at the very end. I was this close to yelling because Sloan knows you've got the shield wall. I was this close to yelling to you to use it for me, figuring that maybe you would. But that's the only way I could logically have the character bring it up, thinking that you might end up using it for you.
Oh,
But I didn't at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Oh, that was awesome.
That was a lot of fun. Thank you.
Yeah,
that was a
so
good time.
beautifully done. I think the high point for me was watching you play with low stamina. That was really cool.
It was fun. Yeah.
And Jim, you're harsh on yourself, but I love Sloan. Sloan is always awesome. The Sloan voice is iconic, and we love it. But more notably than that, great pacing. You did a great job of understanding how much essence you were using with your abilities. You were like, "Oh yeah, I'm in the yellow." I was like, "Yeah, I don't have to work. You're doing all the work."
Yeah, it's something that it's all part of the process. You know, I like trying to keep aware of that where I am on that sliding scale because I hate to have that kind of thing run out at the wrong time. So
yeah, exactly. You got it perfectly, which was great. But also, standoffs were on point, shootouts were on point. That one trick route was sick. You nailed your duster use. And I think that the turn away at the very end, I was like, that's literally, you could not have made a better play. It not only just makes sure the standoff holds by really being cool and asserting dominance, right? But then it also gets your face away from the burning.
And that was when you said my face was starting to blister and starting to burn. I thought, I've got to get myself turned away from this somehow. And it just kind of fell into my lap. It was just,
perfect.
Here's the way to wrap this up, buddy. So go with it.
Yeah, I love that. And the other thing I wanted to mention in regards to Sloan is when you started thinking, what if I shoot out their hip and then I'll take out one side of their body so they can't crawl? I was like, that was
smart.
That was so smart.
Thanks.
And Sloan has the 4 pluses to skill where he can actually place bullets on a skeleton to do stuff like that. Masterful.
Thanks.
I loved it.
I appreciate it.
Frankly, it was like textbook gunslinger play. Even your recon at the beginning was really nicely done. I saw in chat Matt, who plays a gunslinger as well, being like, "Ooh, I'm taking notes," like doing recon at top of mission. Yeah, it was awesome. Your game sense is always really, really good.
Thanks.
And your execution and Enclave is great. This is Sloan's 5th mission, meaning he is now level to level 3. This is Ajax's 2nd mission, meaning he's leveling to level 2. So
cool.
The double level. The last thing I would want to do before we roll over to Q&A, if you're up for it, is mission name. I always forget, but we do need to put down a mission name so that you guys can keep track in your character's mission logs. What are we thinking for name? If anyone in chat has an idea, I would love to hear it too.
I'm kind of leaning toward Fiery Death, but
that's not bad.
That's just me. Either Fiery Death or Cold Death, but I'm thinking we've spent more time with the fire, or Hot Death. We could call it Hot Death.
Hot Death, I kind of like. I think that would be good.
Yeah, I kind of dig that. Sure, we'll do it.
All right, Hot Death.
Oceans 2. Oh, Oceans 2. That's a good one, Mark.
Yeah. Beautifully done, fellas. From here, not only, obviously, anyone in chat, if you guys have any questions about the game, the system, what's happening under the hood when I'm hosting, that sort of thing, please fire away. But do you guys have questions for me, both about the game, thoughts on the game generally, having played for a little while, or thoughts or questions about the upcoming stuff that we have coming in the Kickstarter?
No, and I'm hoping that some people will end up having some questions for Robby on this. Some of the people who are more familiar with the Old Warlock, because we play this. We've ended up playing Enclave because number one, Robby's a friend of ours, but at the same time, it is just a heck of a lot of fun, and so we're not, as you guys know, we're not a channel that goes out and tries to make money. If anything, we lose money on a monthly basis. But that allows us to maintain an honesty with the people that follow us. So we're only going to recommend stuff to you guys that we think is fun. And
Yeah.
so if you're looking for a game that is more narrative based, that relies more on character action to determine outcome rather than character statistics to determine outcome, I really encourage you guys to check out Enclave because it's a heck of a lot of fun. And as we mentioned at the beginning of the stream, you guys can find a way to Robby's pre-launch on his Kickstarter that is coming up. When is the actual Kickstarter going to be, Robby?
The Kickstarter is going live on September 23rd. I'm like 95+% locked in on that date.
Okay.
It was originally going to be the 25th because that's the game's anniversary, but it turns out Kickstarters do better when you launch on Tuesdays.
There you
Put
go.
that in the whole book of stuff I didn't know.
So, yeah, well, anyway, I mean, you guys can always, we will have a link to the pre-launch page in the description of the video. If you lose that or you don't end up finding it, just contact me. Send us an email, and we'll be happy to direct you to Robby. Robby, what's the search term that's going to get them to you the quickest?
Sure. The big one is this Kickstarter is called Enclave Aspirant. So Enclave : Aspirant, Aspirant, which is the name of the second book. The core rule book for Enclave is called Enclave Advent, and the expansion is going to be called Enclave Aspirant. The expansion, not only this Kickstarter will be relaunching the core book, Advent, but with new art, new layout, hardcover, and also with a bunch of balance changes from the community. Because even though it may seem like Enclave is a free-form game, it very much is not.
It's not.
It is quite a substantially structured game. It's just structured in kind of an unconventional way.
Yeah.
And as such, there are classes that are stronger and weaker than others. There are elements that are overtuned or undertuned. And the community has done so much in helping bring it to a better place. So not only are we going to be relaunching the core rulebook, we're also going to be adding this expansion, which repeats nothing from the core rulebook and just adds more stuff. And it is a lot more stuff.
Well, and I think that, you mentioned that the character classes have different traits and abilities. Some are stronger, some are not quite so strong. But I think that's, you kind of said that in a way, but I don't think that's really the case in the game. It's just a question of how you use the different characters' abilities. Because there's a character class that I want to play. I'll play Sloan until Sloan bites the dust. But the one character class I really want to try is I would love to play a librarian. Mm-hmm. And there's a wealth of opportunity for somebody who is a librarian going on one of these missions because. I love having that insightful knowledge that you can apply to given situations. It's one of the many characters that I would like to try out with Enclave. So, there's a lot going on with this game, guys, and so I really encourage you to take a close look at it. And
here's a fun fact for you. I apologize.
No,
this is
you're
a
good.
Point of some interest. When we balance an Enclave, we balance around how useful a class is on average across a wide array of missions. And so if something is overpowered in Enclave, it just means it's too good too often.
Sure.
It's like too relevant too often.
Sure.
And under that definition, the librarian is the best class in the game in V1.
Oh, really?
Wouldn't surprise me.
By a lot, by the way. It's
Wouldn't surprise me.
kind of gross how strong it is. But
fun.
So we're tuning it back in V2, but it will still be super fun. It'll still be a really great class.
But anyway, go ahead.
No, please carry on.
Sorry, Alexander, were you going to say something?
Oh no, I was just going to hop on with everything else. I mean, I don't have too much to say outside of what you guys have said so far, but this really is an excellent game, and I wanted to point out that in the chat I did post the link to the pre-launch page for the Kickstarter. So please go check that out if you're interested. We'll also like we said earlier, put it in the description when we just post this video on our YouTube page. So
awesome. So I just see from Mark in chat, foundation of players and GM developing co-op storytelling is strong. What replaces the random input of dice? So I can go into this in a good amount of depth, and you guys can tell how you feel from your side of it. But as a host, 95% of what we do is pure common sense.
Yeah.
When, for example, Ajax is being mobbed by skeletons, I think to myself, well, they're human capable, but they're lighter weight because they're made of bone. And he has a plus to might. And so would he be able to like throw off 4 of them? Maybe 3. 4 seems like a lot, so I'll give him kind of a partial thing. Here's how that kind of looks. So a lot of it is just pure common sense. And in situations where the host is genuinely unsure of what the right outcome is, we ask ourselves 3 questions. We say, 1, how well has the player described what they are doing? And if they described it better, would I give it to them? 2, what outcome tells a better story? If there's one that would just like invalidate half of what's been going on, or be like a lame outcome, or like too easy, or just bring it to a grinding halt, don't do that. And lastly, and I'd say most importantly, how much has this player been contributing to the session as a person? Are they trying to stay in character? Are they keeping good etiquette? Are they bigging up the other people at the table? Are they making it fun?
Yeah.
And if so, you give it to them. And because we give good players the benefit of the doubt, people we actually like, who are making the session better for everyone, the benefit of the doubt in these swing situations, it not only means that we have tangible rewards for character acting in a very big way, and tangible rewards for the intangibles, but it also means that we can make missions hard.
Yeah.
You guys saw it. This was a tough mission.
Yeah.
Good luck doing that level 1 D&D. Probably have trouble with level 7. But because I can give them the benefit of the doubt, if they are doing great stuff, which I knew they would, I can just make it way harder. And you guys saw, they almost got screwed because of pure common sense. Pure common sense would dictate in many ways, oh, you made too many mistakes, got to this point, and you're dead. Because of that, you do not need random input to determine success or failure. If anything, this allows player agency to be a much bigger factor in the equation, from everything from the decisions they make to the descriptions they give to the intangibles that they bring to the table.
Yeah, and I back that up 100% because in our D&D, the D&D that Alexander and I have been playing for a long time now, and that I've been playing for decades, the common sense factor rules everything. We will often go for entire evenings without rolling dice simply because the players are giving me valid descriptions that are backed up with common sense, and then I react appropriately by taking their common sense, mixing it with my own, and coming up with a logical outcome. So very often we don't need the dice. And something I mentioned to Robby, I don't know, it's been 2 years we've known each other, Robby, a little bit longer, maybe
about that.
2.5, something. That was one of the first things that I did when I first talked about Enclave, was that I loved the fact that there had been a stage in a role-playing game reached where there were no dice needed to play the game. I'm not dissing D&D. We still play D&D. I love rolling dice. But it's also nice to have a game where common sense rules everything. Logic, or better yet, logic rules everything. I sound like Mr. Spock, but that's kind of the way that I like looking at it. It's a logical approach to gaming. So.
Yep, storytelling logic is the way I try to brand it. But along those same lines, something else that it enables is it means that Enclave is fast. Like you guys saw, the session was very quick, constant action. You don't have to wait. You don't have to consult tables. You don't have to pause gameplay.
And that was the thing that I mentioned at the very beginning of the game was, you know, guys, you've got chat over here. I'm looking at it as much as I can, but I can tell you from experience of playing Enclave in the past, we're not going to have time to actually sit down and type out a response because it moves the entire time. And 3 hours goes by and you think, wait a minute, it's only been 20 minutes and 3 hours have come and gone because the pace is so fast. But that's a big part in my mind of what makes it so fun.
I agree. Yeah. You also have very variable session lengths depending on what a play group wants. I could have made this session even shorter if I wanted, but from start to stop, I clocked us at like just under 2 hours of active play.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's not bad.
No.
You can do shorter. We tend to, in my experience, do like 3 to 4 hours on average because, like, you know, it's fun and we're like indulging ourselves. But you can easily go shorter if you want.
Yeah.
Whereas I know personally of plenty of groups who are like, if we can't have a 6-hour block, we can't play today. And that's not really feasible for a lot of people.
Well, and I think that, but at the same time, I've got to say that, you know, a 6-hour game of Enclave, that would be exhausting.
I've done it.
I've done more.
It would be exhausting. I'm talking for the player. It would be, you know, because you have to be thinking constantly. That's what I love about it.
You are on.
But you have to be, you've got to be switched on the entire time you're playing, which I absolutely love. but it would be tiring.
It's tiring.
But
So
at the same time,
personal
extremely
oh, yeah.
rewarding at the end of it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, precisely. It's like watching, you know, when a movie kind of grabs you by the balls and like just makes you feel things for the entire sitting,
Yeah.
like that. It's like that.
Yeah.
My personal record is I have once hosted a 14-hour mission.
Oh my goodness.
And that particular mission had 10 people on it. Do
Oh.
not recommend. And so the players, they had to find time. I was dead, but
Yeah.
and I think that the longest I've seen a single player go at it is I once hosted a solo mission, as in one player, one conduit, that lasted 6 hours.
Wow.
And so that one player was doing only, like they were
Constantly
the
on.
only person. They don't get to get cut away from and think.
Yeah.
They are working 6 hours.
Right.
It was wildly taxing for them.
Yeah.
They did beautifully. So you can do really intense things with Enclave, but if you feel like it is too intense, the easiest thing you can possibly do is get a slightly bigger group, or even just ask your conduit, "Can I have a less intense mission?"
Yeah.
please?"
Let
And
me,
the answer is yes.
let me think for a second here. Hang on.
Yeah, just give me a moment. And especially with new players, we try to like go out of our way to be more accommodating with newer players.
Sure.
Something I put in the book: be nicer with newer players, because it's what helps newer players build game instinct and get them into the flow. If you just like scream at them from the very beginning, then they're not going to.
What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? No.
Yeah. Though again, once you have veterans, you can like put them on the spot. What are you doing? You got to tell me now. If
Yeah.
you don't tell me now, your character's getting screwed. Like you got to go.
Which
and
I
it's fun.
love. I actually love doing that.
Yeah.
Very exciting. It's very, very fun. But it's something that you need to build to.
Yes, exactly.
Um,
yeah.
And yeah, Mark in chat. I know that the mental engagement was intense. Yes, it's very, very intense. I literally am sweating. I often sweat when I'm hosting.
Sure.
Just
Yeah.
by nature of the
But there's a physical nature to it. That's for sure.
Sure.
Do you guys have other stuff that you want to briefly go over? Obviously, anyone in chat who has more questions, please throw them out there. But additionally, if you're feeling like you've said your pieces here, is there anything I can share with or tease about the upcoming expansion? Because if so, I am happy to do so.
Well, just if you could give me, I think that our viewers might be interested in knowing how many character classes there are going to be in Aspirant.
Oh yeah. So the quick summary is that in Advent, the core rule set, we only have 6 classes. But in Aspirant, we are doubling that number. And all classes get, like I'd say at least twice the amount of content that they did in Advent. They are much more thorough. On top of that, however, we have stretch goals. And if this campaign does well, we have, I kid you not, 24 additional classes
Wow.
that we will add
Wow.
as a PDF supplement. I already have them
Cool.
mapped out. I know what I'm doing with them. We actually had a community poll to determine the order that they would make it in.
Nice.
And so I can literally rattle off all of them. If you're interested, I can give you a little blurb about the ones that are going to be in.
Do
as in like the 12.
just
Great,
to,
yeah.
because I think people
to
might
do it.
like to understand. I mean, they've seen Thane at work. They've seen a
Yep.
gunslinger at work. What else is there that people could partake
Sure.
of, could take on a mission?
So of the core Advent 6, you have Thane and Gunslinger, as you've seen. You have the Illusionist, which is a non-combat mage specializing in deception. It's a very effective class in terms of manipulating people and supporting allies, and also having a stealth component. Very fun, but largely non-combat that you can easily use it in combat. Just doesn't do damage. Librarian, which is pretty much a pure utility class that focuses on information gathering. It has some social angles it can play in. It's great on a team. Then you have the Thunderbird, which is an extremely fast, dynamic, magical combatant that has a lot of mobility options, as well as, the ability to summon and interact with storms. And then lastly, you have the Wanderer, another non-combat class, very social, again, kind of a utility social feel. Though the Wanderer is very much kind of a dark horse. It can just do stuff that you didn't expect it to. One of its marquee abilities, as my favorite example, is Familiar Face, which lets you pitch a pre-existing relationship with an NPC you encounter.
Nice.
That's cool.
And that's powerful. Like, that gives you a huge hint to so many circumstances. So those are the core 6. Then in the expansion, Aspirant, we are adding the following, all of which have already been played on the server through kind of like early access reward releases. The Berserker, the most up-in-your-face, kick-your-teeth-in combat class you can imagine, can pose a substantial threat to allies.
Yes, I've played. Now that you mention it, I've played with a berserker
Yes, you have.
that I had to try and redirect somewhere else so that they didn't kill all of the party. Yes, okay, go ahead.
Yeah. The Free Runner, a class based in parkour. It is an extremely mobility-focused class.
That could be really cool.
Yeah, that could be fun.
It's super fun. It has the best mobility in the game, bar none. The Infiltrator, which is a stealth class that is based in information gathering and
nice.
obviously
That'd be
like
fun, too.
getting into a like an enemy base or something similar. It also has a slightly futuristic edge, harshly contrasting it from the more classic magic of the illusionist. Then you have the Samaritan, which is a healer based in charity, and so it is like a charity magnet, so to speak.
Interesting.
That's trying to get people to care about what's going on, and can convert care into healing.
Oh, interesting.
Huh. That's cool.
So classic healer with a twist, wildly social. Probably the most social class in the game. All of its effects require heavy social input. Then the Vessel, probably the most popular of all of the teaser releases. The Vessel is a class that is possessed by an evil entity that they are trying to contain within themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And their abilities consist of this evil entity kind of spilling out involuntarily into the world.
That's cool. That's really cool.
So it's a class that's kind of like fighting itself. But it has absolutely massive potential and terrifying power.
Sure.
But it's very scary. Kind of like the Berserker, easy to kill other allies.
Friends.
And then lastly, the Witch Hunter, which is being renamed to the Witchfinder.
I think that would
and
be a fun one to play too, yeah.
Yep. The Witchfinder is a very hard-committed anti-magic class that focuses on information gathering and social disruption, making people suspicious of and turn against each other
That could
rather
be
than
fun.
fighting themselves.
That could be a lot of fun.
That's neat.
So that's the roster we have.
That's
it's
great.
a real broad brush that we paint with.
But it's,
And then
go ahead.
I was just going to say the remaining 24 are all like wildly different on top of it. And any of the stretch goal classes that don't make it in this time, I'm going to be releasing as a supplement next year.
Nice. Sounds good. I'm looking forward to it. 100%. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, although it's going to be a while unless he dies before Sloan ends up going by the wayside and I start something else.
Yeah,
I kept seeing Clint Eastwood over in the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Clint
saw
Eastwood
that.
impression. Where did this come from?
The something that I've seen a lot on the server, especially among people who play very frequently, is people have like a stable of characters.
Sure.
I think the record I've seen is like 30.
Oh.
And people just like either cycle between or have like a main and then like fallbacks and then like a huge roster of ones that, I'll play it someday. And so it's a great game for people who just love creating characters, even if they never play them.
Well, and I think that could be a lot of fun, though, is just creating something, not knowing what the mission is going to be, of course, but just playing something and jumping in with both feet to see how you end up doing it. And that there's an element of discovery in there that I think can really make can really make the game even more fun if you approach it from that standpoint. I want to see what I can do.
We have a soft tradition called meat grindering. And a meat grinder is when you create a brand new character, you put very little thought into them, and you throw them onto the scariest mission you can possibly imagine, see if they survive, and if they do, you will be very attached to them.
Sure, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah, Janine in chat hides binder full of characters. I see you. You got tons. Nice. Do you guys have any other topics you want to go over? And if in chat you guys have any other stuff you want to hear from me, I would love to share.
I've got nothing else at the moment, Robbie.
I'm feeling pretty. I mean, I'll reiterate one more time. This is a lot of fun. Check out the Kickstarter. Check out everything having to do with Enclave. We couldn't recommend it more strongly. It's a game we really, really enjoy because, like we were saying earlier, it's good. It's collective storytelling in maybe the smoothest way that we've ever seen it. So if that's something that you enjoy, this is the game we play.
And also go to. people who are spending time on Discord, make sure that you go to the Enclave Discord and check out. You've got a lot of games that you end up posting. If people are looking for better flavor of the game than what they experienced here today, if they want to find out more about it, they can always go and review some of the games that you've posted. Either on you've got them both on YouTube and on somewhere on Discord.
I have them on YouTube. I do post them on Discord, but the full collection is on YouTube. Both YouTube and Discord are linked through our pre-launch page for anyone who's interested. And yeah, we got an awesome Discord community. Pick up games all the time. Super helpful. Like player base, they're wonderful. So
it does seem like a
love
really
to
good
see
group.
there.
And if you guys want to watch Alexander and I bumble through other missions, we're out there on Robby's YouTube channel. So
yeah, we got Elkie and the Baron Snag right there, which is the one that your art came from.
And yes, I was going to mention that. I'm not saying that we're going to have any artwork appear in Aspirant that depicts Alexander and myself, but I'm hoping that it will actually be in the Aspirant edition, because there was an artwork that was done of us on a previous mission, which was really, really cool.
It was very, very cool.
So
that is going to be an Aspirant.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Good to
Literally
hear.
Guaranteed.
Good to hear. Good to hear. I was no pressure, Robbie. I wasn't trying to push anything.
Oh no,
but,
that's why I commissioned it. Yeah, it's either going to be an Aspirant or it might be an Advent V2. I think it's probably going to be an Aspirant.
Nice.
We will see where it ends up being placed. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Oh, our pleasure.
I have watched your content for quite a few years, even before reaching out, and the fact that you've been so consistently warm and accommodating has been nothing short of delightful. I've said it before, and I'll say it again on the record. You guys have my, without question, favorite TTRPG content on YouTube.
Thanks, bud.
And
Appreciate
my watch history would reflect that.
I appreciate
That's
it.
very kind.
Nice of you
Thank
to say
so
it.
much. Yeah.
All right, guys. With that, I think that this mission is over. Sloan is going to go home and rest and recuperate, and I think it's time for a little salve on to be put on Ajax.
Face to be sewn up, I
exactly.
think.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we'll do that, and then we've seen a couple comments in there that saying, "Hey, you guys need to do this again." Whenever there's time, I'd be more than happy to do it again. Robbie, just let us know when you have an opening. Let us know. We'd be happy to step in.
That was fun.
Much obliged. Thank you, guys.
Have a good night, guys. Thanks, everybody who've tuned in. Thanks for tuning in, and we hope to see you in more content in the future.
Thank you so much for watching, friends.
All right. Take care, guys. Have a good night.
Toodaloo.
And hang on a second.